Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this Around the Ropes episode right here on the new AEW Network. As always, you guys, you hit the subscribe button if you watch us on YouTube. If you follow us on Facebook, you can follow us there. You guys know where to find us already. I've been over this road 100 times now. We got a loaded show for you guys tonight, and by loaded, I mean we have phenomenal guests joining us tonight at 8:30. I don't know if it's going to be both of them or one of them. I'm not sure yet, but at 8:30, we will be previewing Ace with either Mike Morgan and Cheyenne Ortiz, or one or both, or I have no idea. So at 8:30, we'll be talking about that show. And then at 9:30, I have the link here somewhere. Here we go. We'll be previewing the upcoming Immortal show as they return to Dwaynesburg for Homecoming 2 with a loaded card. So you're not going to want to miss that. Sit down as well. And of course, guys, we have some other stuff coming up for you guys as well. But let me just get some little stuff here maneuvered. There we go. But guys, let's get right into it because we have a lot of stuff to get to. That's also why we're starting usually 20 minutes earlier than we usually start. But one of the things I want to touch on right away is this past weekend, I actually got to experience my first WrestlePro show. Now, normally the person on screen with me would be sitting here, wondering my thing, but as you can see, he's not here right now. But I want to go into it for a little bit. And personally, I understand 110% why Ryan was so raving. And also, guys, by the way, if you want to leave your comments below, you definitely can. That's how you can interact with me on tonight's show. If you're watching us through either the Facebook group, the Around the Ropes page, or the YouTube page. So definitely leave your comments in there. I'll definitely read them. But went to WrestlePro this past Saturday. And if you've been watching the show for a while, you know that's one company that Ryan has been freaking pestering me on about going. Because it seems like every time WrestlePro has a show, it always seems to be the case of, oh, John, can you come? I can't. I got this show. Or I'm going to this show. So Saturday night, I'm like, you know what? It was kind of a last-minute decision. I'm like, you know what? Let me finally make the trip. And I made the trip. And first of all, to get the Raw way was very easy. It was much easier than I thought. Getting in was nothing. The only part I will say off the bat is the fact that they ran out of concessions food before intermission. I thought that was absolutely hysterical. But overall, I will say this much. One of the better wrestling shows I've seen. And obviously, if you're a fan of the show, you know how much wrestling I go to. And yeah, that was definitely one of the better ones that I had gone to. And I want to start off with what happened in the main event. As we saw CPA taking on Vargas, where the stipulation, because what happened was back in November, CPA won the on-the-spot Rumble. And basically, the on-the-spot Rumble, in case you're not familiar with it, is basically WrestlePro's version of the Royal Rumble or any other company's version of the Royal Rumble. CPA went on record as saying he will only take on Vargas in that building because that building is very synonymous with CPA's career. CPA is that building, I will say this much, I understand also why they call that the true Mecca and not the Mecca that's in 106 Bergen Avenue, Ridgewood Park, New Jersey. Because in that building, it didn't seem like you were walking out of there with possible chlamydia, gonorrhea, or any of that stuff. But the main event, though, CPA Vargas for the title. Now, if you're somebody who has watched the show previously and you know my big stance is on storytelling. I'm a huge proponent of it. I'm a huge proponent of not only storytelling, but emotional investment. And mind you, this was my first WrestlePro show I'd ever gone to. And I was hooked the second that match started. I put out a live video actually on Facebook, and you can hear the excitement. You can hear the crowd go nuts for a lot of the moments in that match, including the one spot, which I saw a couple of times afterwards, where CPA goes to grab Chris Robinson, who's Vargas' manager. Vargas is standing right by the door, and he does almost like a Death Valley driver, it looked like, that put Vargas right through the freaking door. I said this, when after that match ended, I looked at Ryan. I said that was probably one of the best independent wrestling matches I have ever seen, because that had the storytelling, that had the psychology, that had everything in it. It felt like, I don't know how many people were exactly in that building. My hunch is probably 300. But what is also the other thing, also just to mention, it was raining that night, so that may have hindered a little bit with the attendance. But overall, though, it was a pretty loaded audience, and I know I said this with the last Dynasty show, but I said it with here too. It felt like there was 1,000. There was something in the air. There was electricity in the air, to put it. That's probably the best way I can put it. And overall, like I said, CPA and Vargas probably won. I would put that on par. If I had to put that on par with any independent wrestling match that I have seen, I think I would put that on par. Oof. If you go back to Halloween Havoc 4, when Skyros took on Vasad, it was on par with that. It was on par with Darius Carter and Dan Moff back at Pro Wrestling Magic last year. Forgot the name of the show. I'm trying to think of what else. You probably have to put that also on par with, from a storytelling perspective, Conway and Lethal from Dynasty, from the most recent Dynasty show. Yes, folks, I am thinking about it from the perspective of the shows that I went to and whatnot. But hold on one second. I'm just trying to share the show so more people can view the show. Just bear with me 1 second here. I know it. But no, what I was saying though was in regards to, so like I said, overall the show was great. The main event freaking told the story that was amazing. It had its moments that I don't think would take I wouldn't say it would take a while, but would take a lot of patience to put together. And I'm actually going to pull up the rest of the card now, because I like to go over the rest of the card. And again, guys, like I said, if you have any questions or any comments like that, definitely leave them in the comment section below. That's how I will be able to that's how I'll be able to answer them. So like I said, we talked about Vargas and CPA. I want to move down the list here. For the women's title, we had Serena Deeb taking on Ava Everett. Now, the one thing I will say about this, it's the first time I'd ever seen Ava Everett in action. And she was supposed to be the heel in this match, and she played it beautifully. And again, like I said, it's the first time I've seen her in action. And the second she walked out, just her mannerism alone and the way she conducted herself, she came off to me like a heel. We got our first comment coming in actually from our buddy David across the pond, checking us out tonight. Hey, David, what's going on? But so I like that match. And Serena Deeb, she's a legend. She's one of the biggest names in this industry. And I liked how Ryan, when he went to go do the intro for her, turned around and said, "The woman of 1,000 holes," and she kind of did that look of, "Oh, I like that. I really do." Let's keep things moving here. We had Sean Donovan taking on LSG for the WrestlePro Silver Championship. Now, this one, like I was saying before with Ava Everett, I think I can say the same thing about Sean Donovan. Sean plays the heel perfectly. Don't get me wrong. Yes, LSG also plays a good heel when he has to, but Sean it's that old school it's almost like Bully Ray-esque, if that makes sense, with Shawn. And yeah, David, you're right. Serena Deeb does do the heel. But David, that's an interesting thing, though, because somebody like her who's been in this industry for, God, probably 20 years, if not more, she knows what it has to take because she is somebody who can get heat. And you don't see that. And I've said this constantly on the show. A lot of wrestlers nowadays who try to be heels don't try to get heat for whatever reason whatsoever. But I want to keep things moving here as we had Devastation Inc. Ooh, excuse me. Which was a team of Trax and Victor Benjamin taking on the team of Dark STG and Dark Fala. Now, again, first time seeing any of these guys in action. First of all, Fala Ba, to me, how the hell can you turn this guy heel? Even as a heel, they're still doing his Ba. Like, they're still doing his stuff. So, to me, to turn him heel, but they also teased a possible breakup between the two of them. Overall, I like this match a lot. I thought it was a pretty good match. I will say that much. It was a pretty damn good freaking match. And now I just lost the fucking card. Why am I not shocked by that? But again, guys, like I said, at 8:30, Mike Morgan and Cheyenne Ortiz will be joining us. Or somebody from Ace will be on with us. And then at 9:30, Chip Stetson from Immortal Championship Wrestling will be on the program as well. Yeah, David, that's probably the best way I can. That's probably a good comparison right there. He goes, it's like trying to turn Umaga face. It doesn't suit. Yeah, I get what they're doing storyline wise with turning Fala heel, but it doesn't sit well. And and I hate to put it in this equation. It's almost similar to what Vicious Vicky's trying to do with her character. Like a lot of these indies wrestlers who try to turn heel, who are a bona fide babyface, it's tough. Believe me, if I ever entered, God, English, I knows it. If I ever entered the pro wrestling world, I'd be a straight babyface. To turn me heel, first of all, I'll ask you this question: Would it be believable to you guys who are watching right now if I would ever be a heel? I'd love to hear what you guys think about that in the comments below. But to me, when you look at, with Fala, and you have 300 plus people doing his damn chant like this, I mean, it kind of, to me, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I want to keep things moving here as Dan Moff took on Dion Rusman for the basically became number one contender match. And okay, apparently now I have stuff popping up on my screen now that shouldn't be. Oh wait. Okay, that was weird. But like I said, with Moth and Rusman, yeah, I'm gonna say this much right now. I fucking love Rusman's spear. The impact of that thing. And the funny thing is, when he did it to Moth a couple of times in the match, now you gotta realize something. Dion Rusman is a skinny nothing. Danny Moff, not Jay Lethal, as some people know the story of that one, is not a small dude. And you felt the impact. That's probably the best way I can put it. You felt you felt all that. But I want to keep things moving here because, like I said, we got a lot more to get to tonight. And also, guys, by the way, if you're watching this right now and you'd like to join the stream, let me know. I can definitely get you hooked up with that. That's not a problem. Because of the fact that it's easier to do a wrestling show when you have two people as opposed to one person, because then it turns into a 3-hour monologue. But I want to keep things moving here as we had Big Business, which, by the way, this was the Big Business, which was TJ Crawford and Brick City taking on the Ace of Space Academy. Now, I am a huge, huge fan of tag team wrestling. And if the tag team wrestling is done right, I'll be front fucking row for it. This match with Crawford, Brick City, and three of the guys from Ace of Space Academy, which I think was GKM, MSG, and Colton Charles. What a fucking match these guys had. I'll say this much: if it wasn't for the whatchamacallit, the title match with CPA and Vargas, this match right here would be my match of the night by far. Because then at the end we saw, they're all hugging each other, and TJ goes on takes the microphone from Ryan and goes, "Oh, kind of putting over the building," and then turns around and goes, and then you can tell right away with the way he was doing it that he was basically full of shit. Let me put it that way. That's the nicest way I can put it. Next we had Justin Carino taking on Eli Isom. Decent match, kind of a filler to me, unfortunately. Lady Frost took on Ultraviolet. After this match is what I want to talk about, because after this match, all of a sudden, Lady Frost goes on the microphone and basically cuts a promo saying how she technically had never lost the women's title, that she was the, I think, 400 plus state champion of. And she basically turned around and said, whoever wins the women's title match, the one we were talking about before, she'll be next in line for her rematch. So basically what that is entailing to me is we're getting Serena Deeb, Lady Frost down the road. I'm hoping sooner rather than later, because I think that match, to be honest, if you don't have a title match on the line, that match should be your main event right there. And honestly, I wouldn't even mind if that's the main event. And it's not just because of the story. It's not because I think they're both very good in-ring workers, Lady Frost and Serena Deeb, but the storytelling. Oh, the storytelling would be incredible. Yeah, David. Yep, Lady Frost and Serena Deeb would definitely be, as the children say nowadays, a banger. Yes, I just outdated myself by a long time, so shut up. But I want to keep. What the fuck's going on here with my laptop all of a sudden? Okay, let's keep things moving here. Also, guys, I'd like to mention at the top of the hour, there is going to be an announcement made for the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. As soon as they announce it, we will bring it to you live right here on the Around the Ropes podcast. So stay tuned for that as well. I want to keep things moving here. Cheeseburger took on Leo Sparrow. I freaking popped when I saw this one, because I was like, finally a promotion is doing the King of Kale versus Cheeseburger. I loved it. I mean, granted, Cheeseburger and freaking Leo Sparrow are two phenomenal in-ring workers. I'm not taking that away from them. But this match was very good. I will say that much. This match was very, very, very good. And then you had, to open the show, you had a match between El Magnifico, Yusufer El, Jay Haru, and Isaac Alvarez. Again, decent match. It was I think El Magnifico ended up winning that. El Magnifico, I'm just going to say this right now, is over like Rover. And he is somebody who is... WrestlePro has a star there. I'm just going to say this right now. WrestlePro has a star. And actually, give me 1 second, because I might try to get a third guest on in a second here. Just bear with me 1 second. Again, guys, like I said, if you have any comments like David's been doing tonight, definitely leave them in the comment section below. We will definitely be reading them a lot. Hold on 1 second. Just give me 1 second here. Just bear with me 1 second. All right, so see what happens. But like I said, but as far as the show, and folks, here's the nice thing also. You can watch the show if you want. Go to WrestlePro on Facebook. Go to GoPro's Facebook page and one other, and Premiere on Facebook and on YouTube. And the show is live in its entirety on there. So I highly, highly recommend checking this out. Definitely give WrestlePro some love. I'm hoping to attend future WrestlePro shows in the, whenever they have future shows. Oh, crap, there goes the phone. But let's keep things moving here, because like I said, folks, any second now we'll have an announcement coming down from the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame up in Albany, New York. And I have a feeling it has something to do with the upcoming Hall of Fame class. I don't know. I'm just saying it could be. But I want to keep things moving here because, like I said, Mike Morgan and/or Cheyenne Ortiz will be joining us at 8:30. Chip Stetson will be joining us at 9:30. And taking more of your questions and comments as well this evening. But let's keep things moving here. I want to jump over now to the WWE, and I want to talk about the slap heard around the world. Now, it's weird to think that we're actually on the road to Mania. This has been probably one of the more enticing roads, one of the more intriguing roads to Mania, because, and I'm going to go over the match card here in a second, this card right now is, I'll put it this way, each match that's on this card for Mania, which I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to pull up right now. Here we go. WrestleMania 40. Here are the matches we have as of tonight's show. On night 1, we have the Bloodline, which is The Rock and Roman Reigns, taking on a team of Cody and Seth freaking Rollins. Stipulation with this is, if Rhodes and Rollins wins, then all members of the Bloodline must be barred from ringside during Rhodes' undisputed WWE Universal Championship match against Reigns on night 2. Yes, David, he definitely did have it coming. He definitely did. If Reigns and Rock win, then night 2, then the match on night 2 will basically be a no rules match. Basically, anything goes, no holds barred, so it's going to be that type of match. On night 2, we have Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship, which honestly, to me, I wouldn't mind that one opening night 2. Obviously, we know what's closing out night 2, Roman and Cody for the Undisputed title. But then you have 4 matches that we don't know what days they're going to be on yet. And that's one thing I love with Mania now, is because of the 2-day thing, you don't know when these matches are going to happen. Io Sky versus Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the Women's World Championship. My bad. Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the IC title, which I want to get into that in a second. And the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest will be defending their tag titles in a 6-pack ladder match. Now, I want to touch on the ladder match first, because I think that's going to be what you call a car crash. Let's just call it what it is. And I know they're going to start, I think, next Monday on Raw. I think we're going to start getting teams qualifying. I think of the ones that are that are going to be in matches on Monday, there's something that bugs the crap out of me, that why the Creed brothers have to take on freaking DIY. Because I think the Creed brothers at this point, I'm a huge Creed brothers fan. I think realistically they should be in this title match at Mania. I think New Day. I think here are the teams we're getting. We're getting New Day, DIY, Awesome Truth, Awesome Truth. I guess you can throw in the team of Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, which I'm drawing a blank now on what it is. And I think the last one. No, wait, hold on. New Day, DIY, Awesome Truth, Catch Republic, or whatever their name is. And then one more. Creed Brothers. Yeah, there's your 5 right there. Because I think this is going to be... what I like about this match, Judgment Day doesn't have to get pinned, and they can still look strong. Because I think, to be honest, and I know they made a stink about this during the segment last night, on Monday Night Raw, when they were when Olsen and Priest turned around and said, we're we've been holding these titles, and Adam Pearce was like, you guys can cement your legacy. Now, realistically, I don't know if I put them in the same, because realistically, then what you're doing is you're telling the fans, okay, we're putting Judgment Day in the same breath as the New Day, as the Usos. I think they're a distant third. I'm not taking that away from them. I think what they've done is incredible. But here's the thing. Priest and Balor are singles guys. New Day are a legit tag team. Usos are a legit tag team. So to me, to turn around and sit there and say, oh, we're going to cement our legacies. I don't know if you're really going to cement your legacy. I mean, we'll definitely give you a nice notch on your resume if you want to put it that way. Yeah, more than likely. I don't see why not. But to turn around and say that, oh, it cements your legacy as one of the greatest factions. No, it doesn't. So you mean to tell me that you're going to put Judgment Day in the same breath as the Four Horsemen, Evolution? Okay, I want to see who responded on this one. Give me a second here, because now I'm curious to see. Oh wait, wrong one. Hold on, because that's actually an interesting thing, and I'm not burying Judgment Day. First of all, I'm not burying the Judgment Day, but I'm just curious to see who it is, so I know how to respond to said person. Oh, it's Archie. All right, Archie. I'm just gonna read your comment right now. He goes, "You're crazy. You're gonna bury the Judgment Day so Awesome Truth can win? That's crazy. You're crazy, and this whole courtroom is crazy." Archie, first of all, I don't think Awesome Truth is going to win. I really don't. What I would love to see is the Creed brothers get the titles. Awesome Truth is just going to get it so they can have their moment in the sun. Let's call it what it is. They're not going to do anything with them. But you put on a team like the Creed brothers, where they're a legit tag team, and B, they can do something with them. I think it would only help elevate that tag titles. And then I'll tell you right now, put them in the fucking program with Alpha Academy and have that be your... let's say, for argument's sakes, let's say we're talking about the Tuesday after Mania here. And we're saying that that Creed brothers are your tag team champions. Would anybody who's watching this be against the idea Creed Brothers Alpha Academy being your program headed into SummerSlam, which, by the way, was announced today for Cleveland, Ohio, by the way? I know I wouldn't be. Because that's the thing. Hell, you can, eventually you can do that, but you can also throw Catch Republic in there. I just think, to me, to turn around and put the belts, and again, I'm not hating on Awesome Truth. I think they're a great tag team. But we all know what the point of it is. It's to give R-Truth his moment. Let's call it what it is. It's going to be one of those things of, okay, we're going to put the belts on them, and also then come, what is it, Backlash, I think? Well, yeah, Archie, I get the fact that this courtroom is crazy. Very similar to the Asylum Wrestling League. David chimes in here and goes, let me just pull this comment up here. Just give me 1 second. God, I can't even read this now. He goes, I'm rooting for the Creed brothers all the way. They are young with plenty of growing room between them. They haven't reached their peaks yet, and they are pure fire. Creed, yeah. But, David, that's my point. Is you put the belts on the Creed brothers, you have a legit tag team here who, done right, in the next 10, 15 years, could be in the same category as the Usos, could be in the same category as the New Day. Because they are a legit tag team. The thing that, and I know WB has done this in the past, where they have taken two singles guys and put them as a tag team. I know they've done it before. They did it with the fucking Bar with Sheamus and Cesaro. Sometimes it works. I'm not taking anything away from what Damian Priest and Finn Balor are doing. But to me, when I look at them, they are two singles guys who are put together. Point blank simple. But guys, let me ask you guys this who are watching right now. You have to leave your comments, and you can leave your comments below, and I will read them. Who do you guys see as the other teams joining Judgment Day in this ladder match? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to get your guys' takes. And again, guys, like I said, if anybody would like to join me live on camera, you definitely can. All you just got to do is shoot me a message on Facebook or leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will definitely make that happen. But again, guys, like I said, in about, what time is it now? About 15 minutes or so, Mike Morgan and or Cheyenne Ortiz will be joining us from Ace to preview their upcoming show, Drive for Greatness, or Die for Great. Hold on. I have the freaking poster. Let me not make myself more of an idiot than I already am. Destined for Greatness, which apparently I'm not. We'll definitely go over that card. There's going to be some debuts that night, which, as we see here, is Vargas. We got Kerr, who's going to be on the card. So it should be a good one. And then, like I said, guys, at 9:30, Chip Stetson will be joining us ahead of Immortal Championship Wrestling as they present Homecoming 2. We got some comments coming in here. Ooh, we got some. Yep, DIY. Yeah, DIY I have no issues with. And I think DIY would be perfect in this match. To me, there's just something missing with DIY. I don't know what it is. They don't have the same pizzazz like they did when they were together originally in NXT. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're just presenting them. That's my thing, is I don't know. I don't know what it is. But again, I have no issues with DIY. I think DIY is a phenomenal team, and I definitely could see them being in this match as well. But I want to keep things moving here because, like I said, folks, we got a lot more to get to tonight. David, you bring up an interesting point here. He says they need to turn heel, and a manager wouldn't go amiss. David, who do you think? Okay, David, I'm gonna throw you out this one. Who do you think should manage DIY then? I'm curious to see who you think it would be then. I mean, I got one idea who I think would be a perfect manager for them, and we sort of saw her turn heel a little bit on Monday night in her match with her and Indy Hartwell taking on Maxine Dupree, and I'm drawing a blank on the other person. What about Candice? We've seen power couples on screen before. Why not make them a power couple? I mean, you're talking about, and I bring up Candice LeRae here for a hot second, because you bring up somebody like Candice LeRae. Let's see here. We got another comment coming here. I can't even read this tonight. God damn it. the hell's going on here? Nope, not what I wanted. Nope, not what I wanted. There we go. Shamika comments here and goes, to me, it could be anyone but Balor and Priest. So done with them. But I think Priest is going to cash in on Cody and they will break up. I don't see him. If I see him cashing in on anybody, to be honest, I see it being Drew. Unfortunately, I really, because to me, it wouldn't make sense to have him go to have. You're going to do, and I'm not disagreeing with you, Shamika. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just looking at this from the other side of the picture here for a second. You built this whole thing up with Cody that, I mean, we started in the promo on Friday night when Cody made the whole thing about, when Rock said, this could be your last opportunity to go after those titles, da-da-da-da. You're going to have Cody finally finish his story and then have Priest cash in? I mean, yes, granted, I think Priest is going to cash in either way, but I don't see it being on Cody. I don't see it being on Cody at all. Like I said, I see it being on Drew, or I hate to say this, whoever comes out of the IC Championship match. Because people are forgetting, this is I think this year or last year, if you win the Money in the Bank briefcase, it doesn't mean specifically you have to go for a World Heavyweight title. You can go for any title you want. And granted, yes, 99% of the people who win the Money in the Bank don't usually go for the IC title. But here's what, realistically, let's put it this way. And I'll hop into the IC title here for a hot second. You look at what Gunther's been doing. He's your longest reigning IC champion. He's making that title probably the most relevant I've seen it in my lifetime, with the exception of Miz and Dolph Ziggler from 2016. I think would be a close second. If you have the ability to cash in, wouldn't you want to cash in on that? Wouldn't you want to cash in on the IC title rather than the World Heavyweight title? I think right now, to me, and I'll ask this to you guys, which title do you think is more prestigious right now? The title Seth is holding or the title that Gunther's holding? Shamika comments here and goes, I think the IC title should be a triple threat match, Sammy and Chad and Gunther. Somehow I see Chad Gable getting put into this match. Somehow, some way. I don't know how. But I can see somehow him. I mean, it would be tough as hell to put him in the match. Just think about it now. Because the problem is, you put him in the match, it's not like we saw a double count out. It's not like we saw Gunther interfere. Gable lost clean. He got pinned 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, and that was it. However, if you saw the camera, once they panned it to the pin, Gable's shoulders weren't down. So now the question is going to be, do they play that into the story? Because WWE right now is doing very good at playing certain things into storylines. We saw it with Maxine Dupree and Candice LeRae. Because the problem's going to be, if you do that, then it's like, okay, well, then how can we even check the replay for that match? And how can we even check the replay for that match? And how can we even check it for that one? Or that one? Or that one? It's like, because the problem is, and I know I said this before with Gable, and I just think about it now out loud here for a second. You almost have to do something with Gable at this point. And to put him back in with Otis, and again, it's nothing against Otis, but to put him back with Otis again, after the run he has been on, I think would almost be going backwards. If all of a sudden, let's say Alpha Academy is one of the teams that gets put in and they win the tag titles, to me that can come off like a consolation prize to him. And to me, it's realistically, that's the only way you can look at it. I think realistically, but again, this is where it gets very difficult, because then it's like, okay, how do you insert him in this match? Because realistically, he lost clean. So it's not like you can turn around and say that, somebody interfered. No, nobody interfered. That's what's going to make this so goddamn difficult. And, we got all that. I actually do want to go to the announcement because I did see them make the announcement for the Hall of Fame. So let me just pull that up quickly. Just give me 30 seconds here because I think I know what this announcement is. I just want to double check it. And I promised them in the post that we were going to mention it on air. So just give me 30 seconds. Pro Wrestling. Nope. It'd be good if I know the damn name of the damn place already. I mean, I've been going up there so freaking much now. And it looks like... Oh, the inductions are being held. Okay. That's what I thought. The class of 2024 is going to be announced on May 4th. And the actual induction weekend is going to be Columbus Day weekend, October 11th, 12th, and 13th. Or it's 11th, 12th. I don't know. I'm just reading to you what it says here. Well, yeah, we live from the MVP Arena. But definitely keep your eyes out. And if you have the ability to go to the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, I highly, highly recommend going there. I've gone there now. I went to the last two. I went to the one in 22. That was the first one I went to. That was the wrestling show that weekend was done by Jason Stone. The hell was that? Was done by Jason Stone. I forgot the name of his company now. Last year was ECPW, which wasn't too bad. I mean, the venue was definitely interesting, to say the least. I'm just curious to see who they get this year. I'm really curious to see. Because, like I said, either way, I'm going to be up there. Even though, despite the fact I'm up in Albany now, 7 times a year. Yeah, just give me another reason to go up there at this point. But guys, we'll definitely have more information coming out as soon as the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame releases it. We'll definitely bring it to you guys here. And stay tuned because there might be a possibility of a live said Around the Ropes podcast episode happening from said Hall of Fame weekend. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. Like I said, Mike Morgan and Cheyenne Ortiz will join us in about 10 minutes. I want to get back into the IC title picture here for a second. Just gonna hold on because I got another comment coming here, and unfortunately, the problem is because dealing with Facebook groups for some reason doesn't doesn't show the name on here, so I have to have Facebook open so I can see the names. Shamika says, "I will be there right down the street." Yep, Shamika, I think I saw you at the one last year. But definitely, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it gives me another reason to come up there. It's my home away from home at this point. Because of the fact I'm up there so much now between Immortal, Dynasty, yeah. And you know what's funny? It's all fucking worth it. It's all worth it. Ooh, that did not feel good. But I want to get back to the IC title picture here for a second before Mike and/or Cheyenne join us at the bottom of the hour. I got to give kudos to Sami Zayn here for one reason. Because yesterday was the start of Ramadan. And by the way, anybody who's watching this right now who is celebrating Ramadan, I want to say happy holiday. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. We got another comment coming in here from our good friend Billy, who says, "What's up, John? Hey, Shamika. What's going on, Billy? Billy, Shamika, Billy, I'm glad you guys are checking the show out tonight. If you guys have any comments you'd like to add, definitely leave them below. We'll definitely pull them up. But want to keep things moving here because, like I said, folks, we got a lot more to get to. What I was getting at before with in regards to the IC title picture, I got to give credit to freaking Sami Zayn. because who cares? Nobody cares about Archie. Just kidding. But I got to give props to Sami Zayn for one reason. Yes, it was start of Ramadan, and the guy didn't eat at all during the day. That's, in case you're not aware, Ramadan, you don't eat during the day, you eat at night. And he pretty much... Hey, John, what's going on? Definitely check out John Gletcher, and you can probably hear him from a mile away, but Greek Savage, they do a lot of signings over at the Wrestling Universe down in Queens. Definitely want to get back to one of those again. So, John, thank you for checking us out tonight. I appreciate it. But in regards to Sami Zayn, the guy worked in that gauntlet match, which was, God, over an hour. He didn't eat anything beforehand, and he put on phenomenal matches. Now, let me ask you guys this question, to anybody who's watching. Would you have been upset? Like, okay, they aired the vignette earlier in the night, and first of all, did you think with that vignette that they were going to win? That, what's his face? Gable was going to win. That's what I was trying to get at. Not a problem, John. Definitely. John, also, just want to let you know, any future guests who you guys have, we can definitely promote them on here. Just let me know. But no, like I said, in regards to, I keep getting sidetracked with this IC title picture here. I have no issues with it. I have no issues at all with Sammy, because then honestly, and here's the funny thing: Sammy wins the title against Gunther, it will be his biggest win in his career. Now, yes, I know he has won the IC title before. I think he's a 3-time champion, if memory serves me right. But the problem is, the IC title for years meant nothing. It wasn't until recently when Gunther, even go back to the Miz, and like the feud I was talking about before with Miz and Ziggler, I thought they did certain guys can put that title over. I think Gunther has made that title prestigious as hell, because even with Gunther, I don't remember that IC title being more prestigious than it is now. Where realistically, I would put that over Seth Rollins. I wouldn't put it over Roman just because Roman's run with his title. But as far as, I would say, the only way I would put it over Roman's title is one reason. Look at how many times Gunther has defended that title. Gunther, to me, has defended that title a hell of a lot more than freaking Roman has. But also, I think what makes Gunther interesting, and a lot of people don't talk about this, is he doesn't have a definitive finish. And what I mean by that is this. You look at somebody like Gunther, and he can a powerbomb can be a finish. A simple kick, like a regular, kick would be a finish. We got another comment coming in here from our buddy Mark. Oh, I haven't seen Mark on here in a couple of weeks. You go, God, I can't read tonight. What the hell is going on here? John, what's up, brother? How was first time at WrestlePro? It was good, Mark. It was definitely good. Folks, also, just want to make a quick mention here. If you missed any of the show tonight or any past shows, definitely go check out the YouTube page. Go check out the Facebook page. Go check out, we're not on Twitter. We are on Twitter, but we don't stream live on Twitter. And go check out Twitch. I know we're not live on there tonight, but I want to start. So, folks, definitely want to go back and listen to any part of the show that you miss. And definitely share the show. Let your friends, family, your coworkers, your sister's ass. I apologize about what you see here every Tuesday night. Yeah, Mark, I would definitely agree on that. On you should get to a show soon. I don't know when the next one is. They did not announce it yet. If I talk to Ryan, I should hopefully can find out. Also, quick programming note: next week, I can't even announce this now. At 8:30 p.m., Phil McManus will be joining the show. This is as we head closer to Blitzkrieg Pro presents their next show next Friday, which also I can officially announce that we are one of the official sponsors for said show. As we are the sponsors of the Brittany Brooks Gabby Forza match that's happening next Friday. But stay tuned for all that information and all that stuff coming up next week with Phil and possibly another guest as well. Can't confirm anything as of now. Ryan's doing okay, Mark. Ryan's doing okay. He had to take some time away from the show, and he's doing okay right now. He like I said, I don't know when he's coming back, if at all. I'm not sure. That hasn't been brought up yet. We're unfortunately, I'm pulling back the curtain here right now, but we're taking this kind of day in and day out. Hey, Randy, what's going on? And looks like we got both of them joining us tonight. So, folks, let me first introduce to you the voice. Okay, why is my mouse not working here? There we go. The voice of Ace Pro Wrestling, and also the host of It Was Scheduled for One Fall, the one, the only Mr. Cheyenne Ortiz. What's going on, Cheyenne?
Good evening, John. Good evening, everyone around the Rose Podcast. How y'all doing?
And let me also bring on the guy who is behind everything with Ace, the one, the only Mike Morgan. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's everything?
Doing well. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell, but Ryan is not on with me tonight, so surprise.
Well, what's up with Ryan? Is he all right?
Yeah, he's taking some time away from the show right now.
Oh, he's probably watching a Broadway show.
How did you know that?
Because I see him posting all the time about the Broadway stuff. That's kind of cool.
Nah, he doesn't go to Broadway.
They're always cool when they're free.
What? Wow, you already started. We just got on and we're already started.
I'm just saying.
Mike, it's us.
Yeah, right away, right by the jugular, right quick.
But let me, Mike, I want to throw this to you first. Obviously, we're coming off the return show. Being that's been a couple weeks now, how do you feel how everything went?
The honest truth, or you want me to be political? No, I'm only fucking around. No, it's been good. I mean, it's just been so busy. I do so many things out all at once. So, but I'm happy with the show. It was a great time. Coming back and putting it all back together again. It was fun. I'm happy the show went very well.
Cheyenne, I'll throw it to you as well. How do you feel like the show went?
If you didn't go to the show live and in person, it's being uploaded on YouTube with uploads coming tomorrow and the following week going into the show. And one of the things that Ace provides on the independent scene is an experience, and that show in and out of itself was an experience, from stellar matches to plot twists to surprises. It was a loaded show. I can't stress it enough. There is several factors that separate Ace from several other companies, and that is it. I'm not trying to say we're number one or brag or this or that. It's nothing like that. I'm speaking specifically about Ace in general and the presentation as a show.
Well, a lot of the stuff with the presentation of the show is that it's not one of those things where, and again, this is not a shot at anybody, because in true reality, that's not what we're all about. I'm all for helping anybody or whatever. It's that we plan these shows 30, 40 days before the actual date of the show. It's not like we're booking the show while people are walking in. It's something that we hit pen and paper for weeks and weeks, and we change things, and we come up with the angles, and we vote on what ideas we throw at each other, and then we try to give the best possible presentation, because that's really what it is. A lot of people just do shows to do shows. We do a full-blown presentation, from entrance to the way the arena is set up to the way the matches are actually lined up on the card. So it's not like it's just thrown in at the last minute. Like 90%, you might get one or two matches that might have a little turns and twists and changing because the last minute cancellations or whatever it may be.
Subject to change.
Yeah, we try not to use that as much. Even though it's on the poster, we try not to use that card subject to change too much. Once we lock the show, the last week leading to the show, it's glued. Like, it's not something that is going to dance around. Like I said, it has to be something where somebody might call and say, I can't make it. So now I got to do an audible and change a couple of things around. But 90% of the matches that we announce are set in stone.
Well, let me ask you this one, because I know the opening match was originally Wrecking Ball versus Vince Steele for the title. And then all of a sudden, it was a last-minute substitution with Rick Recon getting added in.
Well, it wasn't a substitution. It was actually Vince Steele put out an open challenge, and it was basically answered by two people. One publicly made the announcement, the other one didn't. That was really just more of first of all, we started with the heavyweight title. Our comeback, and I don't call it a comeback, but our show normally, every show, the main event is always the heavyweight title. It's always, that's always been the traditional stuff. Leading into the show, we just wanted to flip the omelet around and do things a little bit more different. Put something really that should be the main event as the opener. Let's set the pace really high, the bar really high, and lead through the whole entire show.
No, and like maybe using the word substitution may have not been the right word to use, but I would say probably one of the earliest surprises was seeing Rick Recon in that match.
Yeah, I mean, and it was his debut. It was somebody that I've been talking to for a while about coming in. But again, with my busy schedule, it just wasn't the time to set, to book him on a show, since it wasn't, at that time I wasn't even focused on running a show again. So when it came to the show, it was a last minute kind of thing, like, hey, do you want to come to the show? So I was like, yeah, I don't mind answering that challenge. So I was like, all right, let's do it. Answer it. Go for it.
Now, I don't know if it's going to be announced coming up soon, but is there a plan now as far as who he's going to be facing at the show on March 30th?
Well, as a matter of fact, John, yeah, we're going to give you an exclusive. As seen on the poster, Dan Moff is advertised for our upcoming Destined for Greatness event, which means...
Well, hold on. Like you said, I kind of changed a lot of things in a fly. As of today, Danny Moff will not be at the show. Danny Moff has a prior family engagement. So the main event for March 30th is the Ace Heavyweight Champion, Rick Recon, versus Darius Carter. That's the main event, which I'm kind of should have told Cheyenne before we got here, but it was just something that I was talking. Danny has some family engagement that he has to attend to, so it's not that we put him on the poster and he was not going to show up. It was basically he called me at the last minute, and unfortunately he has to be in Florida that same day he flies out. Okay. So I decided to switch it up, and as of right now, officially, Rick Recon, the Ace Heavyweight Champion, will face Darius Carter one-on-one.
Wow.
Holy crap. And the comment section now is blowing up that basically it's basically, to summarize it, it's basically holy shit.
Oh, okay. Well, so that's actually one of the and to be honest, I think that we also have about 2 more matches that we're kind of lingering around. But that is the main event for sure. It's locked, sealed, and delivered. It's Darius Carter versus Rick Recon for the Ace title.
Folks, I think it's safe to say March 30th. If you're in the area, definitely come to the show.
Wow.
So Cheyenne, if you want to go down the run list of the matches that have already been advertised, and again, I apologize to you because I should have at least text you earlier about it, but it's just you know me, I'm always running around, and the people with no posts are busy keeping me busy. So
right. I'm pulling it up now. Ladies and gentlemen, American Championship Entertainment brings to you Destined for Greatness. That's right. American Championship Entertainment brings to you Destined for Greatness, emanating from Teaneck, New Jersey, March 30th, 2024. Destined for Greatness, of course, a staple event for Ace Pro Wrestling, featuring matches included and not limited to, obviously. We're talking Vince Steele versus NWA Superstar, one half of the Fixers, Wrecking Ball Legursky, one-on-one. We're talking meat-size mayhem at Destined for Greatness. That's right. We're also going to be talking about the return of the Sucios taking on Merc, Romeo Castillo, the mercenary himself, teaming up with fellow American hero Big Kerr. The Pain Train comes home at Destined for Greatness. Adam Kane of Kane Industries looks to rise his stock when he challenges your new Ace Diamond Division champion, Michael Mastretta, who's leaving Amity LeVay at home in his first official title defense. And I know a lot of you in the Ace Nation want to follow up in regards to the developing story between Bo Pritchard and Cade Lothbrook. What we can confirm for you is that during Bo Pritchard's recruitments, he has found a gift, a presentation to give to his former friend, Cade Lothbrook, at Destined for Greatness. That's right. Bo Pritchard will present Cade Lothbrook with a gift at Destined for Greatness. And now, hashtag breaking news, Rick Recon's second, that's right, Ace Heavyweight title defense will be against the All-Father, the perennial star of the tri-state area, the measuring stick, Darius Carter, one-on-one for the Ace Heavyweight title.
Holy shit.
Now we also have the Fight for Fight title, which is also going to be defended on March 30th. Champion Brad.
First official defense.
Which is his first official defense. We also got Guapo Grande making his return again on March 30th. We also have, actually, you know what? We can even throw that match out. It's actually Prince Akanaka will be back. And he will be facing whatever the heck his name is. Akanaka, some empanada. He will be facing Guapo Grande.
They'll be going at it.
But yeah, guys, I think it's safe to say anybody who's in the New York, New Jersey area, March 30th, Teaneck, New Jersey is where the place to be.
38 minutes from Times Square.
That's, believe me, 38 minutes for some people is not that bad of a drive. I look at it this way. I'm coming out from Stony Brook. That's a good hour and a half.
Some of the guys come from Bethlehem. There's a lot of people that they come from a distance for the show. Again, I mean, it's something that we normally do. I mean, I don't like to over hype up our shows and the presentation, but if you've never been to an Ace show, give it a chance. We also have a big surprise that day for a lot of fans of the concession stand, as I will be bringing the trailer, the food truck, to the event. It will be parked outside of the event, which will be also serving empanadas from there and in the concession inside the building. So we're going to have 2 locations where people can purchase. We're going to be also raffling some empanada T-shirts. We're going to be giving out some empanada T-shirts for all, everybody who purchases it will get a ticket. And then we're going to have some raffles, and we'll give out some T-shirts and stuff like that.
Well, I know for a fact that one person was upset they didn't get any empanadas at the last show, and that wasn't me; it was Ryan.
Well, he has to place his order. I mean, he's in the inside.
What?
How did he not get any?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. He got paid too. So,
No, but I mean, sometimes Cheyenne places his order early. And then it's all put aside, the minute you get done, the order is there.
Ryan, I don't know if you're watching this, probably not because I'm on it, but place your order at 5 o'clock and eat it at 11 like I do.
It'll be made fresh.
But yeah, I remember we had that whole discussion on the way home because I happened to get like one of the last couple, and he got mad at me.
Oh, is that the reason why he left the podcast for now?
Is this over an empanada?
Is all this for an empanada?
No. There's other stuff that's going on with.
No, I'm only teasing. We're only teasing. But no, yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, people got to put. Damn, even Jay Lethal got empanadas at the end of the show. Mob got empanadas at the end of the show. He just got to, you know what it is? He doesn't know the ins of how to get his order done. He's got to place the order early.
Right.
Or mid show. Just walk in intermission. Walk in and say, yo, can I get 2 of these, 2 of that, and 2, because I know he's not eating one. Come on, it's Ryan, for the love of Christ.
Absolutely.
So, places his order. I'll be back at the end of the show. They'll set it aside for him.
I mean, you're not wrong. I kind of suggested that to him.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're not wrong? It's common sense.
You're in the end. Jesus, you even got a microphone. You could actually order the shit through the mic.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
Can I place an order?
There's no reason for this. But if for whatever reason I have to open up the next show, I swear to you, when I open up the show to hype up the crowd and to hype up the card,
you're gonna place your order.
I will get Ryan in the ring, put my arm around him so he could puke, and I will get his empanada order done for him right there in the ring. Can we open up the show that way? I don't ask for nothing.
We could help him. We can teach him how to do it.
Ryan,
I mean, it's not that difficult.
Ryan, if you want, I'll open up the show. I'll get the crowd going. I'll get your little sexy Ryan chant on that you live on to get your nipples all hard. I'll get you in the ring. I'll get you a little moment of fame, and then I'll get you going because I know you like that shit. Okay, man? Don't lie to me. And then from the ring with a live mic, I'll look at Denise and I'll get your order in. I'll pay for it. Ryan, I'm giving you the greatest moment of your career. Not the biggest house, but the greatest moment of your career. I'm going to do the job for you, brother. All right? I'll put boots on. Come to the show. You're booked. Come to the show. I'll start the show off. I'll get the crowd going. And right before I leave the ring, I will give you a grand introduction that you somewhat don't deserve. And then from the ring, I will order your empanadas for you. And then I will hop the barricade and pay for it.
Wow.
And I'll also throw this in as well. We're going to record that part live on the podcast for the podcast.
Oh, yeah, you can do that. That's fine. Totally fine.
MSG in the 90s? Why are you bootlegging Mike's show, John?
Oh, God. Hold on.
Are you going to have a handy cam and record the click moment between me and Ryan?
Too much.
Billy Ann Wolf chimes in and goes, yes, I'll chip in on those empanadas.
Billy, if you go, well, no, I can't take money from a woman, but Billy, if you go, for every person that goes to the A show that I'm friends with, I'll buy it. He's got 2 empanadas right now, one for me and one for Billy. And I'll make it.
But yeah, I mean, going back to going back to
The wrestling
what we're
show.
doing, with the wrestling show, what we're doing with the food truck. Basically, we're going to be at Barrero's Brewery for St. Patty's on Saturday. They're doing a 4-day event for St. Patrick's Day at 316 20th Street in Carlstadt, New Jersey. If anybody wants to swing by, it's a nice brewery.
I've been there. They got the 2 flavors at the brewery that I like. They've got the orange something. It's basically their version of a creamsicle as a beer, as a lager. And then they've got a Fruity Pebbles. And then they have the Juicy Pebbles, which is a Fruity Pebbles lager. It's delicious and it goes great with any of the empanadas. I like the Juicy Pebbles empanada with a nice Juicy Pebbles lager with the chicken empanada. Hits every time.
Yeah,
John, you're not 21 yet. You can't drink, but I'll give you.
More breaking news. In 2 weeks, I'm actually turning 31.
Wow!
Congratulations! Wow, happy birthday!
Thank you.
I really screwed myself over here. Now I got to buy this guy guilt empanadas for his birthday. He just got that shit in.
Hey, actually, we'll be tactical. My birthday's 2 days before the Ace show.
Oh, we got to put a bow on the damn empanada.
Now I got the whole opening. The whole opening of the show is me buying Ryan empanadas and now singing this guy over here who just happened to accidentally mention that it's his birthday before the show. So could something possibly be done for me too? Yeah, John, I get it.
No, I'll do what I usually do, like I did the last show. Stand in the corner and have Mike yell at me to go sit down.
No, now.
I mean, you're standing. I mean, there was enough seating. There was enough room for everybody to come and sit down and enjoy the show. But yeah, this show is nice and packed. I also am going to sit down with the Knights, and we're possibly going to have some future dates planned out, so that way we can get a couple of shows ahead of time. The conflict. It's actually the ring with the building, mixing them together to try to have everybody at the same page, same availability. So until right now I'm at that point where I'm just gonna put up my ring and get it back on the road again, and possibly just use my ring from now on. Trying to work it out because I want everybody to benefit from these shows, including VPW promoter, radio, and see if it goes. But if it doesn't work out and if it's going to become a conflict, then Ace will bring out the ring again, and then we'll have the ability to run anytime.
Real quick, I just wanna ask a question. Just name some of the people that have bumped in the Ace ring. Just
Oh my God, guys, you're talking years.
True or false? Chris Candido.
Yes, he did. Actually, Chris Candido was going to be one of the Ace trainers before Jay Lethal became the head trainer at Ace. Originally, it was supposed to be Candido be the head trainer at Ace, and then unfortunately, what happened, and that didn't happen. We've also had Homicide. We've also had Eddie Kingston, Brian Daniels, Christopher Daniels, Tommy Dreamer, Raven. My Lord Jesus Christ, Ultimo Dragon. Believe it or not, the girl from Iconics, the younger looking one, not the one who's married to Shane, whatever his name is, Sean. The other one.
Jessica McKay?
Yeah. McKay, when she was 18 years old, she came from Australia and did a run with Ring of Honor, and she came and worked at one of our shows. I think, if I'm not mistaken, was International Incident. It was a show that I did with a lot of foreigners, and we had a whole bunch of people from Australia. We had Ultimo Dragon work Azrael at that show. We've had what was the Mexican luchador that was in WWE? He was part of that party group of the three Mexicans. What the hell was his name?
Kalisto?
No. What was his name? I'll think of it. I forgot his name. It's just so many guys change their names when they go to the E. He also was on the thing. Believe it or not, the referee Eddie from WWE.
Yeah, Bandito.
Bandito Jr.
Bennett.
Bennett was one of the main refs for Ace for a very long time.
It's a
very long list of names that have been in the Ace ring. Remember, the Ace ring basically is almost 20 years old, but will kick anybody's ass in the ring. The ring will kick any ring out here right now. I mean, we maintained it very well. So, I mean, a lot of these names, again, Santana, Ortiz, Jesus Christ, how many people have not been through? We've also had Savio Vega. We've had Apollo from Puerto Rico. We've had tons of names have actually bumped on that ring.
Mike, I think the better question to be is, who hasn't?
Well, yeah. Who hasn't? I mean, watching wrestling with my kids is kind of weird. With my 14-year-old, I was like, "Oh, I know him," and she's like, "Don't tell me he worked Ace." Yep. And my daughter's like, "Jesus, who hasn't? Who hasn't worked it?" I mean, you're talking 30 plus years of me doing this. I think right now, there's only really two promoters that have had the longest basic run in the Northeast. Besides, Gino Caruso and myself are probably the two longest promoters running still in the East Coast.
Yeah, actually, Mike, I do have a question coming in for you from our Facebook side.
Oh, here we go.
Chimes in here and goes, will there be a classic Morgan flip out and a possible chair being thrown?
No. I kind of stopped those days of me losing my shit. I'm now I'm into the USA moments. I try not to do any of those crazy flipping scenes. There's a funny story about that one. But I'll leave that story alone because that scared a lot of people that day.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you want to say it, you could. I wasn't going to stop you.
Well, I mean, since he brought it up, since he loves the story so much, we ended up doing an angle where we beat up a fan, and I never told the locker room because 99% of the time, when we would tell the locker room to do a breakup or split people apart or whatever, you always get the goofiness from everybody laughing and goofing off. So me, Ma, this is when the four aces were at the highest. We ended up doing this to ourselves. So it was only three people that knew about it. It was William Wyeth, Ma, and myself, and the person that we put into the audience to do the angle. And I had somebody kind of run in and interfere with the whole entire angle where it just went south. And I was so pissed off that I walked into the locker room and I was so pissed off I threw a chair. And it basically, the chair did like a boomerang effect and it just like glazed over Mercedes Martinez. Right over her head. So yeah, that's what he's talking about. Yeah, but I stopped all that craziness. What he's looking for is a match with Mike. It's not gonna happen. I'm too old.
Mike, the other thing also, some of the comments in here were naming the person who you couldn't figure out before.
Which one?
Lindsay Dorado. Was that the guy you were thinking of?
Yes, that's who it was. Yes, he worked Ace a couple of times also.
But it's funny, you bring up the fact of what you were saying before about how your 14-year-old was saying how she's shocked about who has worked for Ace. That's like when I watch a wrestling show with Ryan, and he'll go, like, for a great example, AEW Revolution. And we're watching the pay-per-view, and he goes, "Oh, I've worked with this person, I've worked with this person, I've worked with this person, I've worked with this person." I'm like, and I look at him and go, "Is there anybody you haven't worked with yet?"
Well, you know what it is. A lot of the, when you're traveling around, you don't really notice it until like afterwards that you start jotting. Like, we worked with EC3 when we were in Wallington. Like shit, I think he was with us like 3 or 4 times. There's actually a clip with him and Sonny Kiss on YouTube that has gone viral.
Yeah.
And that was like what, 6, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. So I mean, a lot of these guys, like I said, I don't dwell on yesterday's show. I always look forward to the next, and like I don't like Cheyenne sometimes got to fucking bring me. Try to elevate me with, well, but you've done this, you've done. I don't look at those things because I kind of feel that if you stay grounded, you kind of stay humble and you kind of stay grounded, it's easier to continue to move forward and you act like you're still chopping away. I mean, but if I could stop right now and I have an amazing legacy that I have worked hard to have in this business, but to me, it was just like any other ordinary day.
Yeah, I can see that. Shine, I think you're about to say something.
No, yeah, but you could also you have to be aware of what you've done, and Mike Morgan's contributions to independent wrestling. Honestly, by the time they're measured, it'll be too late.
Well, I believe that opening doors for talent and giving them an opportunity to live their dream should be the biggest thing. I mean, for instance, look at Mike Santana. We ended up at a baby shower. Shit, it was in New York. We ended up in a baby shower, and there is things that I've done that I don't even remember. And he was at the party and he comes over and was saying hello and the whole thing, and then he turns around and tells a whole bunch of guys, "This is the guy who gave me my first pro wrestling match." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I'm the one?" He goes, "Yeah, you don't remember?" I was like, "I don't remember what I did yesterday." And he's like, "Well, you're the one who gave me my first pro wrestling match in an actual show." And like, there's a lot of stories like that I sometimes don't even remember, because I mean, if you actually think of all the shows, I used to run every 2 weeks. Like, I used to have a full-blown show every 2 weeks for, my God, 10 years, 15 years straight, nonstop. Every 2 weeks, we used to run a show. And that's where we developed a lot of storylines. That's where a lot of the guys have come out of. Because I know everybody says, all the old school guys, the more you work, the better you get. The problem is that a lot of these promotions are only running every 2 months or whatever it is, which I don't knock them, because shit, I could end up being that way. You know what I'm saying? Because of my schedule and everything. But at that time, we were doing it every 2 weeks. And don't piss me off when I used to run weekly. There was like 3 or 4 months where I just ran weekly. Every Friday night, we used to have a wrestling show. And I'm not talking like a mediocre, just throw 2 or 3 matches on. I'm talking full-blown show weekly. So if you really add up all the shows, you know how many things I've done that I can't even remember that I've done.
Mike, Kate also wants me to mention this as well. He goes, without Mike Morgan, I wouldn't be the wrestler or the man, for that matter, that I am. He has done so much for both in and out of the wrestling for so many.
Oh, I thank him, because
Sure.
I mean, I've seen him grow from a hothead young guy coming in, and and he basically it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. He made it pretty hard, but look at him now. I'm so proud of him now, of what he's accomplished, and how he has his family now. He's doing his thing, and it's great. It's great to see. I mean, like I said, a lot of these guys like Rob Vegas, just to name a few: Rob Vegas, Vince Steele. Oh my God, Mike Donovan. Even though he's been hurt, Mike Donovan. Wow, shit, you could even add Cheyenne to that list. These guys are like 10 to 20 years they've been with him. When Rob Vegas first came in, he was 19 years old. Mike Donovan was 17 years old. These guys are in their late 30s now. Vinny was like 18, 19 when he first came in to Ace. And Vinny's like 37 years old now. So it's not like these guys just fly by night. I mean, yes, I've had fly by night guys where they come in, they get whatever they can get out of Ace, and they move on. Yes, because that's the way the business is set up. You come in, you learn as much as you can, you go to the next level, or you move on and you prosper somewhere else. Or a lot of times people have left Ace and they have flopped. Not every locker room is like Ace. Not everybody runs a wrestling company like I do.
Very true.
This is about passion. Because if I put dollar signs in front of this, I would have been done the first 2 years of my career. A lot of this has been a lot of passion, a lot of sacrifices that nobody will ever. Well, maybe one day we'll end up sitting down and having a full-blown 5-week podcast about it, because the stories that I can tell you, of people that I have worked with, people that I have, it's just from here to another, to another. I mean, I know Kate has been dying for me to do a clinic. Even though I still don't believe nobody will listen, because everybody's just too focused on hating each other and talking shit about each other. But the business can be very gratifying if you let the business grow and let the passion grow. But if you're too focused on what everybody else is doing, you get lost in it. Go ahead, Shy. I feel like I'm talking. I'm not running for president.
No, we're all. Well, you got all of our
This is not the coronavirus. What happened?
You got all of our votes. That's the problem.
Oh, no, But again, I've worked with a lot of people. Definitely I worked with a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of guys, students from NYWC before. I've worked, WSU. I was really part of the mix. The Mick used to run all his women's shows, 80-90% of it at Ace Arena.
Used to run at the old Ace Arena.
Evolve used to run with us. Shakara used to run a show with us. My God. I mean, CCW ran a couple of shows at Ace Arena also. You gotta understand, before anybody was doing screens, before anybody was doing a whole lighting show and everything, Ace was doing it in Union City in this little warehouse. And that's where a lot of the things kind of left Union City, and a lot of people started doing it. If you're going to come into the business, don't come to the business to hate on other people. Come to the business and leave it better than when you walked in.
That's right.
And again, this is not me trying to boost myself up, because I don't do that. Everybody that knows me personally knows that I don't do that. But I came in and I changed the game of how wrestlers were doing their entrances, in a sense. Yeah, everybody had music, but nobody had the presentation. Nobody used the fog machines. Nobody used any of the lighting. Nobody ever did any of that stuff until we started doing all that stuff. And I'm proud of that. It's not that I'm trying to say that anybody else copied us. I'm not worrying about that, because if you're not being copied, then you shouldn't even be in the business. You should be in the business to leave something for other people to bring to enhance.
Cheyenne?
He's absolutely right. I think, one of the things that I stress on my podcast is that to be aware of the history of the independents, and be aware of all promotions, their existence, their tenure, their lineage, and one of the originals, without question, is Ace Pro Wrestling. And you can say whatever you want after 20 years. I think you're allowed to pick and choose when it is that you want to run, be it once a year, twice a year, whatever, because that's, the first call out that everybody likes to run with, on their keyboards and such. But, Mike could run a show once a year and it'll still be a top-notch presentation, second to none, similar to what's going to happen on March 30th at Destined for Greatness in Teaneck, New Jersey. Tickets are available. However, front row is selling fast, and blockbuster main event that I didn't even know about. Darius Carter challenging Rick Recon for the Ace Heavyweight title. And if I'm not mistaken, Recon and Carter is either first time in 4 years or first time ever. I'm trying to get confirmation on that right now so that John could just continue getting all these scoops out of us tonight.
Well, Mike, my question to you now is this. We talked about Recon's title. We talked about all these titles.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with the tag titles?
Well, the tag titles, the former champions or still champions, I haven't made a decision on that. You see, we can bring in whatever tag team I want to bring in, to be honest with you. But what I'm trying to do establish tag teams within the company. The first tag team, basically, if you want to look at it, it's Merck and Adam Kerr. Reason is they're both veterans. They've both been in the military. So I kind of figured they kind of go by that same mindset. So I figured we've been talking about doing them in a tag team for years. It's not just something that we just put up together. So my whole thing right now is to develop a division of guys within the company, build the tag team a little, get a couple of guys in, and then we're going to bring tag teams in, and then we're going to do a tag tournament for the tag titles, and then we're out running again with all the titles being on the entire show.
No, I completely agree, and especially in the Northeast independent scene, there's a loaded amount of tag teams.
Yeah, but again, the problem with a loaded tag teams is that everybody's using the same tag teams. So in my vision is I rather create, because a lot of people tend to forget that the wrestling business is about creating characters, creating tag teams, creating singles wrestlers, creating. It's not just about running a show, doing the same X matches that everybody else is doing. We go into a lot. If you haven't noticed, a lot of our patterns are doing a lot of first of people that never worked together, people that they've never teamed together. So with us, you're kind of always going to try, because our goal is to always bring you something that you have never seen before, or guys that have never worked with each other,
right,
or have never given the opportunity to run a storyline together. Because see, a lot of people can say, well, I put X, Y, and Z together, but did you do a story with them? Was there a story base behind them? Was there anything with substance where the fans can actually get an emotional attachment to what's happening? That's where we're at right now with the whole with Joe and how do you call it, Bo. It's a story that has maybe 6-7 years, and now we're going full circle with it, and there's more to come in that story. There's more talent that is coming in. There's people making debuts. There's people that I've been wanting to work for a long time with, that I'm actually bringing in little by little. The idea of, well, the plan is, as we're going down the line, by I say about October, we should have a set roster, set storylines, set ideas of where we're going to go for however long else we want to go with.
All I'm going to say is this: I've been to 3 Ace shows now. The first one I went to was the Halloween show where it was fans bring the weapons.
Yes.
Match. And honestly, when it was announced with the first show coming back and now this show, I already put on my calendar, I said, going to Ace. Even though there's probably 10 other wrestling companies that day, I'm like, nope, going to Ace.
I didn't check. I'm sure there's other things running that day, but I didn't check. You got to get so focused on what you're doing. It's inevitable, especially in the state of New Jersey, that you're going to run against somebody else. Fans, workers, everybody's got a choice, and I choose the 3 letters every time.
And not for nothing, I got another scoop for you guys. This is another one for Cheyenne. Oh man, I got scoops coming left and right. We are actually going to build a story to have an ambulance match. Mike Morgan officially has access to an ambulance to do an ambulance match. And I'm not talking some rinky-dink van painted out or decaled into a... I'm not doing that cheesy shit. I'm talking a legitimately ambulance is going to be parked at the Teaneck Arena. Well, the Teaneck Knights of Columbus. I call it the arena. I don't know why. Okay. And we're going to have the same way I used a real casket when we had our casket match. We will use a legitimately ambulance. I'm not telling you when. All I can tell you is I have full access to one. I can even send you pictures. I'm on it every day. Trust me when I'm telling you. It's going to happen.
I got it. Cheyenne versus Ryan Peterson.
I don't care who's going to be in the match. Okay? I'm going to tell you the angle for that. Cheyenne's going to win. Because all he's going to do is throw 2 empanadas in the ambulance and Brian's going to die for them. So, but officially, I'm letting you guys right off the bat wait for it because it's coming. I'm not going to tell you when, but we're officially going to have an ambulance match at Ace Pro Wrestling. What the hell are you doing?
I'm taping up, brother.
Mike,
so me and Ryan, I got to get ready now. I got to hit him with the Jerry Lawler.
Ryan's gonna love me after this one. Mike, one other question I got for you before we get to the other stuff.
Oh, fuck me, right? No, go ahead.
Eddie, I got Billy Michelle. I got a few questions for you.
Yeah. Now you just happen to have questions for me. Go ahead, John.
Mike, any possibility of having an Ace women's title in the future?
Damn, man, I can't give you all the scoops in one show.
Jesus Christ!
Yes.
You want some Baskin Robbins, you greedy bastard.
Yes, we're working on. That's another thing that we're working on. To continue to have women matches, not pulling away from having a full-blown Ace women's show either. I'm not 100% confirming that right now, but there is some talks between the higher ups of what we're planning to do. And just trust me, you're never going to not get excited for an Ace show because every single show I'm going to bring something new to the table. Like I said, I have an idea for a title and everything right now, for a women's title, And I'm not really too much of a fan, I'll be honest with you, because sometimes it just gets way over budget. But it's something that we're working on, and I already have somebody who's going to be in charge of it and everything. Because I am never going to be accused like McMahon is. Too soon? Too soon, anybody? Too soon? Look at these two. Anybody got a headache? Tylenol?
Tickets for the show on March 30th. Is it the same setup like the last show?
It's set up like last show, but I also, since everybody was complaining about buying them online or whatever, we did do Eventbrite, or whatever the hell that event page is. There's a Q card code at the Facebook page banner where you can scan and it leads you right into purchasing tickets. I was trying to get everybody to save on the fees, but I guess people got a little moody by it. So I figured, you know what? You want the tickets online, you want to pay that extra money, that's on you. That's totally fine. So there is access to online purchases for the tickets now.
Now, my last question, this is for both of you.
The QR code is also on every match banner as well.
Okay, that's also good to know. But last question I got for both of you. And obviously, Cheyenne, I'll throw this to you first. Since you've been a part of Ace, in your opinion, what has been the best match you have seen at Ace?
Oh, wow. Well, I would have in May 12th makes 10 years that I'm in Ace at an Independence this year. The inside the actor studio answer is that it hasn't happened yet, right? But some of the absolute best matches that I've ever seen at Ace in my time, unfortunately, some of them, for reasons beyond our control, are unfortunately never going to see the light of day. The one I'm going to try to keep it at 5. The ones that come to mind every single time, and there is going to be a common denominator here: Rob Vegas, Sebastian Cage at last year's Hero Celebration. That there was that one. The first Mike Morgan Jr. Rumble would be at the main event. It was a Rumble style match. It was open to anybody that's ever worked Ace. I'm blanking on the final 4, but it came down to, in the last 3, the Movement, FMB, and Jamal Jackson, and William Wyeth, and Wyeth won in the end. FMB versus Jamal Jackson in the second edition. Rob Vegas versus Ricky Reyes, and I think that was either a Collision Course or a Destined for Greatness. They main evented a show in the Wallington building, and they killed it. Dan Moff versus you now know him as Dijak. Well, when he was Donovan Dijakovac from Ring of Honor, they damn near killed each other in the Wallington building.
Oh shit, Cheyenne, you mentioned a person that I totally forgot.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there was that. I mean, gosh. Oh, I mean, come on. The first and the second Jay versus Rob matches, Jay Lethal versus Rob Vegas, because those are the only 2 times that I ever got to see Jay work at Ace. The casket match, with Cade Lothbrook, then Stockade versus Astra Morales, which to this day, Cade is like, "Oh, you didn't sell the finish of the match." Like, I didn't call 9 other great matches before that. It's all about you. Yeah, so there was that. I mean, the first time I ever cursed on commentary, Cade Lothbrook and Bo Pritchard, who are now enemies, against the Dukes in a street fight where they used as a weapon a child, somebody's leg, the leg of a steel chair, a McDonald's Happy Meal toy, just a bunch of weird shit. There was that tag match. Another one, the one time I was in the ring for Chance of a Lifetime. That Rumble overall was good where I sandbagged William Wyatt because I'm short and fat. Yeah, I mean, no, the mostly the first parts, but the greatest match I've ever called an ace, the cliche answer is that it hasn't happened yet. I called Mike Morgan's last match where he worked his son. I mean,
My last match?
I called, well, yeah, the 6-man at Crossroads 10. You, Will, and who else against Mikey, Stock? You, Will, and Tiny, right?
Yeah, it was me, Will, and Tiny, but that was only a spot. We really didn't do much.
No, you were in there 10 minutes. You were in there 10 full minutes.
So I mean, that was a long time ago. That was probably one of the best stories that I've ever done in wrestling.
You were doing your Hogan TNA, and you got the hot tag at the 3-minute mark, but you were in there. You were in there, you know. No, I've been really, really lucky with a lot of the independent wrestling matches that I've been able to call. I got to call Sonny Kiss, Willow Nightingale. I got to call their rookie year matches. Not all of them, but I think I got to call, if not half, then a third. And to this day, I have called more Sonny Kiss matches than Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone.
Wow. But
wow, talk about throwing that one in there.
So I've had a little bit of luck as the Tom Jones song is, but no, I mean the best gun to my head. Yeah, it's either gonna be Rob Vegas versus Sebastian Cage, or maybe Rob Vegas versus Ricky Reyes. One of those, with the number 2 probably being Donovan versus Dijak was like off the wall.
But guys, I always appreciate you guys both coming on. Again, guys, Ace Pro Wrestling presents. I actually have the poster here. I should have been pushing this throughout the entire interview, but I didn't. But it's not the official one because it has Danny Moth on it. So
it's all right. You gotta love that Puerto Rican.
But guys, it all goes down March 30th. There's the information right there. You're not going to want to miss it. If you're just joining now, you missed the big breaking news story. The main event is Rick Recon defending his title against the All-Father, Darius Carter. But guys, again, I appreciate you both coming on. Again, I'm so looking forward to this event. It's going to be great to be out there, and I'm not going to miss my opportunity to get an empanada, despite some other people who forgot theirs.
And breaking news, we're going to open the show. We're going to open the show with Ryan Peterson's empanada order being locked in and paid for by yours truly right before I order an empanada for your co-host, John Blaine, and stick a candle in it.
John, thank you for having us. Good luck with the rest of the show. And again, thank you, and I'll see you on the 30th.
Yep, I'll see you guys both on the 30th.
Alrighty. Take care.
Right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. But let me just... All right. Guys, that was Ace Pro Wrestling. But guys, another company that we work with is running a show this coming Saturday in Dwaynesburg. Homecoming 2, with a loaded card that I actually just put out on Facebook. Can it be Saturday already? Returning to the show, the one, the only, Chip Stetson. Chip, how you doing?
John, how's things going, man?
It's going good. It's going good.
Yeah.
I'm so eager, so happy, so ecstatic for the show on Saturday.
Awesome. Well, before we get started on Saturday's show, and once again, thank you for having me on. I got a question for you.
What's up?
How's your pussy situation going?
Oh, it's going good.
Is it? Are you lying? Or are you kind of like, kind of kayfabing me on everything? Spill the beans and everything like that. I know, you've been getting around, going out, getting yourself out there, and I love hearing about like the tales of the boys that are on the prowl and everything like that. So I hope don't hold back on anything, like spill the beans just in case, you know, you've got anything in the hopper waiting and everything. You know, if you need a sexual counselor, I'm always there for you. You know, I'm skilled in many of the different traits and in the different, you know, arts of finger diddling and everything. So, you know, I'm here for you if you need it.
I appreciate that. I will say this much: as I continue to lose weight, it's going to happen.
All right. You know, just in case, you know, you need any advice or anything like that, feel free to reach out for me. You know what I mean? Since I've had my fair share of, you know, practice in the art of punani hunting. But let's get to Immortal. Let's get to Immortal Championship Wrestling. I got so excited about punani that my phone tipped over. So, are you ready?
Well, first thing I want to get to is this. This is
go ahead. You dictate the pace. I'll let you go first.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This is Immortal's first time in Dwaynesburg, correct?
It is. It is a benefit show for the Dwaynesburg Sports Booster program, and every year, usually the program, as a lot of you know, schools will do, is they have fundraising efforts, because in this day and age, it seems like more and more schools are fighting for sports to stay active in their communities. You know, very much, and you, I'm sure you can relate to this as many other people can. The economy dictates so much what goes on, and everything goes up, the tax rates in the communities, but you know, not so often does the people's paychecks. And when it comes to school increases every year as homeowners in all of those different counties and different towns, it's becoming more of a struggle, where the older generation that may not have kids still within the school program have a hard time accepting or you know, will vote a lot of the school budgets down based on maybe not having kids within the school system anymore, and may not feel that, you know, their extra cost of maybe $50 a year worth of school taxes should be something that they have to deal with. And every year, and it's just not at Dwaynesburg, but so many other school districts, they fight every year for passing of school budgets. And while most of the school budgets, you know, will go towards maybe like school buses, you know, tax hike increases, you know, on school property taxes for books and capital improvements at the school. Most of the Booster Club, what they do is help fund equipment, transportation increases, costs through their bus garages, you know, admission into, like, you know, for like the wrestling program, every tournament that the school gets into, and there's normally 5 or 6 a year, that comes with a $300 price tag just for officials to be paid to be able to, you know, officiate the different meets. And it can quickly add up, especially if you have a you know, a school where they have a great theater system through a youth program, and you know, which helps generate funds. But usually they fall short on other things, such as, you know, uniforms, transportation costs, chaperoning charges, different things, that, especially if you have a successful program traveling all over the place. So this is a show that's going to help benefit Dwaynesburg. It's an area that I was fortunate to grow up in. My kids were fortunate to grow up in, and you know, and networking like I always do, and speaking to, you know, Serena Killenberger at the Booster Club. It's a struggle every year for them to try to help fund not just wrestling, but every sport. You know, numbers increase, maximum counts on people that can actually be on a team, you know, always changes and makes the kids fight you may be playing. We had a couple kids this year that came from the basketball program to wrestling because of number cuts. So a lot of that is going to help out all these different sport teams be able to have, better seasons. Basketball. I mean, our girls basketball team right now are just entered the final four of all of New York State. And they're doing tremendous stuff. Baseball's getting ready to kick up. We've got joint adventures with local town Bird Knox Westerlo called Helderberg Valley Football, which I was fortunate enough to be a coach also this year for their modified team. So this is just going to help fund so many kids be able to do so many good things. And this is a country setting and everything like that. So, but in this day and age, trouble happens in all the schools, and anytime that we could try to like help out a kid play a sport and everything like that, we want to be able to do that. So don't mistake my kindness for weakness there, John. I kind of got me on a soft note there for a second, buddy, but it's true. Like we're trying to ensure that the Duanesburg sports program will have continued years of funding for sports for all kids of all different nature and whatever they choose to do.
And no, I definitely can see that. And I believe I've been to quite a few Immortal shows even as of recent. And you guys, the one thing I will say about Immortal, even as of recent, you guys have been drawing quite a bit. Go back to the show in St. Johnsville that you guys just did back in February.
Yeah.
It was no, go ahead.
No, and that was a fundraiser too for I believe that was your youth center, correct?
Yeah.
And that's something that the Buckle family have years and will continue to be a part of for years forward. And that's why pro wrestling works for so many different groups. I mean, I remember growing up and I would see World Class Championship Wrestling were always doing fundraisers for different schools and everything. I think Vern Gagne used to do it in AWA all over the place.
That was probably that. I know that was way before my time, Vern Gagne.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even like the Savolis down in International World Class Wrestling, they would always, I think that they'd have at least 5 different commercials during their 1-hour segment of, are you a school member or booster member looking for fundraising for your program? Savolis were notorious for doing that for so many years. So I think Honky Tonk Man was probably one of the spokes, one of the leading wrestlers out there that probably has worked the more benefit shows than anybody.
No, it's definitely, and actually that was my first question. That was the first thing I wanted to bring up, though. Not that you guys are bringing in a veteran, so to speak, but you're bringing in a tag team who it's their second time tag teaming together since they both got released by NXT, and that's Tyler Breeze and Dirty Dango. Obviously, Dango's has been at a few Immortal shows. Is this Tyler Breeze's first time with you guys?
It is. Exactly, and Tyler Breeze does not normally do independent shows. He is really and with the Flatback School, and the reason I probably could touch base on this is, as we were, I have a son who was down there recently in January and got to meet Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears and talk to them. And Tyler Breeze, has not been working indie shows since his release and also the pandemic. And, this is, I think, his 3rd show coming back onto the circuits itself. And by all means, having him with Fandango or, Dirty Dango, it's really a no-brainer. Dango's one of our, past former, heavyweight champions. And, last year, made 6 appearances with this promotion. So, it was a good fit. I mean, other people are having Tyler Breeze as singles. One of the things that made him so popular towards the end there was that tag team and the magic that they created on TV. Always made for interesting subjects,
Yeah, exactly. And also, just like to mention also, because I do have the poster for it here. Where did I put it? That was the question. if you're in the Albany area before the show on Saturday, you have the chance to actually meet Tyler Breeze and Dirty Dango at Heroes Hideout.
Yep, they're going to be at Heroes Hideout. You know, if you can't make the show in Dwaynesburg, there's your chance to be able to go and meet them. Both of them are going to go down in the history books in the wrestling business as huge contributors. I would actually go on the record and saying both of them are definitely future Hall of Famers within the WWE family. Dango is probably one of the funniest people that I've ever shared a locker room with. He gives back to wrestling and is probably the most unselfish person that I've ever worked with. So I can only imagine what Heroes Hideout is going to be like. They're going to be appearing, I believe, is it 11:30 to 1:30? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think 11:30 to 1:30. And didn't give the end time. I know it just gave a start time.
Yeah. Yep. And I know after that, there is going to be a closed door wrestling seminar featuring Tyler Breeze at Dwaynesburg, with a lot of the wrestlers throughout New York State migrating to Dwaynesburg just to be able to get a chance to work out with Tyler Breeze well before the show. I mean, the old saying in the wrestling business is just when you think you know it all, you really don't, because times you could be a 5 or 10 year veteran of wrestling and still be missing something. And I know my son, when he spent time down at Flatbacks, had his eyes opened up and mouth shut and ears open, and came away with huge amount of information that necessarily he wouldn't have gotten if he didn't partake in it. Means that's going to be huge for anybody that decides to take advantage of it. You don't get a chance to get in the ring, and that's one thing about Immortal Championship Wrestling is they create a lot of opportunities for wrestlers to learn from guys that have been there and done that. Not many companies will do that. So, kudos to the Buckle family for giving a lot of the guys the opportunity to do that. It's in a non-threatening environment where they're actually able to learn. And, who would have thought wrestlers, even at their age, age demographic of 18 to, 40 are willing to learn new things. Well, when you give someone like Tyler Breeze, shove them in front of all the wrestlers to, pass on the knowledge and information that worked for him over the years. People are crazy not to take advantage of it.
Oh, I completely believe me. If I was a wrestler, and I'm far from it, I'm far from being an athlete. That's why I'm on this side of the barricade.
You're an athletic supporter.
Oh, of course.
Okay, I got you. Yep. Got it. Ding.
That took a couple seconds for me to pick up. I'm like, yeah.
That's okay. That's all right.
But my thing is this though: if you're an independent wrestler, and I mean, it's not even just with Tyler Breeze now. Immortal has had Lindsay Dorado do a seminar.
Yep.
Eddie Edwards, I think, did a seminar as well. Trying to think of who else. But there's been a plethora of names. And if you're somebody who's first coming into the industry now, and you have the ability to learn from somebody who's been at WWE or AEW,
yep,
why wouldn't you take the opportunity?
You know what? The only people that don't take, the opportunity to do it are normally ones that have become that they know it all, and they don't. They don't. And they're also the same ones that don't want to let their secrets out of the bag in regards to, maybe incompetence factor that they're, having, or that they know what they're doing, but in all honesty, they really don't. And they, are too scared to expose their secrets and their shortcomings. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with trying to better yourself. If 50% of the wrestlers that go to seminars left the seminar with a better understanding of ethics, how you should handle yourself, what works, different ways of thinking and looking at the sport. And I refer to it as a sport. I don't refer to it necessarily as entertainment because last I heard, wrestling does hurt. There's nothing totally fake about the impact that it has on your body. For people not to take advantage of it, they're only like short charging themselves. They're not willing to probably do business the right way. And what ways everyone's gonna. It's all about Baskin Robbins, man. 152 different flavors of ice cream, and 152 different flavors of wrestlers out there. The concept of continuous growth. That's just not like in the sport. It's also like people's work. You know what I mean? You can't stop learning at a certain age. You've got to always try to better yourself, and and that's where the people that don't want to better themselves are the ones that don't go to these type of seminars. So I know up in Western New York, there's been people like super crazy. It's been 2 of them, and just keeps getting, they're better and better every time. So Lindsay Dorado did a phenomenal seminar in Kobeskill in 2023. Dango has done one in 2023 in Rome. And we're keeping it. Facade has done one in Westmoreland. So whenever you could pass on the information to the younger generation and everything, crazy not to.
No, I completely agree. Like I said, even to me, like I said before, if I was a wrestler, I'd be the first one to be like, okay, let me because to me, you're only going to get better by learning from the people who have been there.
Yep. And realize Immortal doesn't care what companies people work for. You don't even have to be a regular roster member on Immortal Championship Wrestling to attend a seminar. You know what I mean? There's people that hit up the Buckalos from all over New York saying, I understand you're a seminar with Tyler Breeze. I'm interested in it. Is it okay? I go ahead and, is there spots available for it? And Mike Buckalo will get right back to him and say, absolutely. No, you're more than welcome. Here's the information. Here's the cost. You're more than welcome to attend. So I don't think there's ever been anybody that has not been welcome to take advantage of a seminar.
Well, we're talking about Tyler Breeze. It was announced his match with Dirty Dango is going to be against what's Shane's tag team now? Hot Stuff.
Yeah, Hot Stuff, Shane Stetson and Sebastian Braun. They are going to be the ones to call out the returning Breezango. But agent, you know what I mean? I'm an agent producer, so I'm not the booker, so I'm not the matchmaker. Before we get into the whole thing again, John, when it comes to nepotism, because of who my son is and what I do within the company, Shane's on his run, and as you notice, ever since I've gone into different aspects of the business that I've been fortunate to be a part of over the years, and he's his own man right now. Well, I wouldn't say his own man. He does have his tag team partner, but the proof is in the pudding, what they do in the ring. And we could talk about how questionable my son's techniques are in the ring and what gets him farther ahead in life. Definitely questionable, but that's something that's all his, and he owns it. And he may get an attitude adjustment by Dango and Tyler Breeze, because there is anyone to shut Shane's mouth up, it would definitely be those two.
I'll say this much. I know, when it comes to your son Shane and Sebastian Braun, they what they do, especially what Shane does, He gets under the skin of everybody within 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And
That may be my fault overall.
But here's what I'll put it this way. When you look at wrestling today as a whole, you don't see wrestlers nowadays wanting to get heat on themselves. Shane, to me, is kind of the out of that discussion because he will be the first person to get heat on himself, no matter if it's Rome, Westmoreland, St. Johnsville, Dwaynesburg, doesn't matter where.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My son loves annoying people and generating a response. And we talk about generating heat. That's something that so many people within the wrestling industry, normally on the independent level, it takes them a while to actually learn that art of psychology and, initiating a response from the fan base. So, maybe one of the reasons why you've been, amazed on his ability to do that. It's one of the things where, and it's not hard to figure out if you're a wrestler saying, what works for me, what's going to work to get me, draw heat and be, whether it's over with a crowd or so hated. And, he was able to learn that so early on, as far as initiating a response creates enough chaos that makes your match more interesting. He put a lot of thought behind it in regards to what works for him and what doesn't work. And he has a really good response. He's, he drives his mother and I crazy. That's for damn sure. Especially when he was this kid just got back from Boca Raton last week, a spring break down there, and spent a lot of time on Fort Lauderdale and Boca, chasing the mysterious Punani for a couple days. And I could only imagine soiling his royal oats, what was going on down there. He's probably left his stain somewhere on some beach sand down there. Hopefully the DNA is not matching anymore.
But I want to look at the other matches that are.
Yeah, do you want me to dance when we started off? I got a whole list here and everything unless you want to bring it out, whatever.
No, you go right ahead, Chip. I'll let you run this one.
All right, John. For Homecoming 2, Dwaynesburg High School, this coming up Saturday, we have a total of 9 matches, which includes a pre-show. Coming back after a lengthy absence is going to be Cade Lothbrook. He is going to be returning to Immortal Championship Wrestling after damn near about almost 3 years. Pre-pandemic, he was there, and he was at he reached out to Immortal Championship Wrestling about returning, and he's getting an opportunity to showcase what he's done over the last couple of years against a newcomer who is actually traveling from New Zealand and is visiting a bunch of independent promotions. Akel, he's right off the plane from New Zealand. And a lot of wrestlers do that from all. Brothers did it a couple years ago while they were training underneath. Oh God, what was his name again? From Watertown, Jay Freddy. He has actually had the Saito brothers staying with him and going around to get experience. Akel is in the same category. So that's going to be one of the preliminary matches that probably won't be seen on IWTV. And we have to say this too. This show will be live streamed on IWTV on Saturday night. So we have that match. One of the matches also going on for Rising Star Tournament. We're going to have round or match 2 of the first 3, where we're going to have returning from Buffalo, Matt McCoy, one of Vince Valor's prize students, going up against Thomas Kennedy, TK, with Hired Gun Club. one of Brute Van Slyke's tag team partners around One Up Wrestling, Ground Zero and stuff. So that's going to actually be a match 2 of the first round of the Rising Star, and both of them are phenomenal wrestlers, and it's probably hopefully going to be placed on the right position. Both of these wrestlers are going to probably take it to the full extreme in regards to telling their who's going to win, who's going to lose, who's going to outdo one another. It's probably going to be one of the ones that's going to be, it's custom made for going live on IWTV and making people's jaw drop. So, that's one of the matches. Another one of the matches, which I'm sure the current Northeast champion is going to be interested in seeing, is the official #1 contenders match. We've got the crazy man himself, Richie the Madman, going up against, the indigenous Pat Sawyer, all 6'9" Pat Sawyer. It's almost going to be David and Goliath. It'd be real interesting to see what Richie's able to pull off as he's looking up 2 feet in the air above his head at Pat Sawyer's just, insanely huge body and demeanor. Pat Sawyer, has been outspoken over the last couple weeks about calling out, the current Northeast champion and, saying, he has his eyes on Shane Stetson, and, good on him, because it's good to see wrestlers that are hungry. It's good to see, of them. And Richie, he's been, ever since he came back last show, he won the Battle Royal. Last show, the Jim Carter Memorial Battle Royal in St. Johnsville. No one, in all honesty, I didn't even know that he was in the building. All I knew is that he was taking some time off to find himself, learn a new hold, better himself. And it looks whatever he ended up doing while his time was off, hopefully he used the pull-out method because things worked well for him. Did you catch that pull-out method, John? Do you know what I'm coming from there?
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
Okay, very good. I'm not sure if Richie's all about the pull-out method or not. He's more of a kind of leave it in and let it ferment, but, everyone has their own techniques. You know what I mean?
Well,
go ahead. Yes.
About this match. The fact that you said it before, Richie is short. I mean, I'm sure the way to put it. And Pat Sawyer is about 3 feet taller than he is. Who would that give the advantage to then? Would that give more the advantage to Richie or more the advantage to Pat?
I would say it would give more the advantage to Pat, because when you're covering somebody that weighs almost twice your body weight and 2 feet taller than you, and don't get me wrong, Richie does some crazy insane. Have you ever seen his dives off the top rope to the floor?
Mm-hmm.
I am not sure that that's going to work on someone the size of Pat Sawyer, because by the time he comes off the top rope, it's only going to be a 4 feet drop before Pat has him. So I hate for it to be a King Kong Bundy Little Beaver. You ever see a Little Beaver? Yeah, you remember Little Beaver, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many Little Beavers, but it may remind me of some people of WrestleMania a little bit when King Kong Bundy squashed some of the midgets. This may be one that Richie really needs to be on his A game for, because, from a wrestling ability to size, Richie's got himself up against, a wall right now to pull. If there's someone to pull something out of a hat, let's just say it would be Richie the Madman.
Oh, I can see that.
So that's, and that's one that, I'm personally going to enjoy watching because I'm not a chess player. I don't know about you, John, but as it is going to be a chess game on who's going to do the next move that's going to hurt the next person first. It's going to be real interesting. So, but moving on to the next one. And yes, I do have notes because I come prepared, John Blaine. The Guantanamo Bay boot camp match. This one makes me a little nervous a little bit with being at a school, but we have the third match between the Sons of Allah, Ben Hameen, Blaze Haram, and their newest recruit, Zulu, versus the Nachi Mafia, Dan, Frank, and Gaetano. And this is the one that probably makes me the most nervous because I can only imagine what that high school gymnasium is probably going to look like after this match. Truth be told, Nachi Mafia has 2 wins. They debuted at ICW 30 and got put right into the tag team title chase. They're moving up the ranks. But as you know, you get in the ring with Blaze Haram and Ben Hameen, it's going to be a war. It's not going to be for the ill at heart. Both of them, former champion, 24/7 champion, Ben Hameen, former heavyweight champion. If Nachi Mafia, while they may be on their high horse from having 2 wins in a row over Sons of Allah, if I were them and I was preparing for this match, I don't think there's a way to prepare for intentional torture, because that's probably what it's going to be in this match. I expect, all 6 competitors to be in bad shape after this match is over.
Well, this brings up an interesting thing now, because let's say, hypothetically speaking, let's say Nachi Mafia does get the win here on Saturday.
Yeah.
Realistically, with them now having 3 wins over the former tag champs, do you think they can then position themselves and make a claim that to go after the tag titles now?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And with everything going on in the tag division with Edge of Hope, and Mikey Skyrose and Adam Stone and bringing in the returning Black and Yellow, bringing in Richter and you've got, Darren, child of all of it. He's like, what was it? What was that one cartoon that, I think, was it Power Rangers, where you'd have someone's face, or is it Mega Brain? I think it may be Mega, Brain, where you have someone's face in a thing, and you've got this huge aura, and Sarah, Rain is like, the mastermind between all the chaos. With Matt, Matic also being there too. It's whoever wins Sons of Allah and Nachi Mafia, definitely without a doubt, are, I'm sure, going to be in the title picture once everything gets settled with the current program, what's going on with the tag team titles.
Which I definitely want to touch on that for, because I remember the last match they had with Edge of Hope took on Team Friendship.
Yeah.
I will say this right now. I've been to a lot of independent wrestling, even, since I've been doing this podcast. That match alone was probably one of the best tag matches I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. Brutal. And, Team Friendship, they've been feuding with Edge of Hope for quite a few months now. And, they've really their favor, and they went out and found people that they could trust, that were going to have their back. And, right now, that's going to be an 8-man tag team match in Dwaynesburg. So I mean, back in the days of NWA, you'd have three of the 4 horsemen would wrestle Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors to have one heck of a banger match. Well, we've got 8-man tag match at this show, and I'm going to go on a record saying I don't think Edge of Hope are going to be able to pull a lot of the pranks that they normally pull, because when it's normally been a 4-on-2 situation, that possibility, because all 4 combatants are going to look across from the ring and see their opponents face to face instead of while someone's back is turned. So I can only imagine what they're going to do. And we talked about Guantanamo Bay boot camp match with Sons of Allah and the Nachi. Immortal, this show is so stacked and booked. Or 2 insane matches that are going to be happening that night.
Yeah, I would definitely agree on that. And then I know the match that a lot of people are looking forward to, and I'm not even talking about Garrett Holiday and Bill Collier.
Is it the triple threat match?
Well, yes, but the addition that was just added a couple of days ago.
Go ahead. Spill the beans.
Facade. I'm trying to remember all. It's Facade, Spencer Slade, and Sean Carr. Triple threat match. The winner will become the number 1 contender to the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah. I talk about New York wrestling darlings dream match.
Yeah.
Sean Carr, a stable figure around Immortal Championship Wrestling for many, many years. Facade, the almost king of the Northeast, and getting out worldwide. Now I can actually consider him like a world traveler, and probably one of the hardest working wrestlers currently, recently signed with the NWA. This guy is no joke. He will drop you on the back of your head. Spencer Slade, or I like to refer to as Spencer, oh my freaking God, Slade. And I've seen a lot of his matches, and in a land of pro wrestling where so many people are good size wrestlers that Facade's in phenomenal condition. He is a cardiovascular guru in regards to being able to go for long periods of time. Sean Carr will kick your chin off and knock your teeth out. His kicks are lethal. He's fast paced. He's high flying. Spencer Slade is a former collegiate wrestling athlete who could probably suplex you in 20 different ways. The fact of having all 3 of those wrestlers in one ring at the same time, it's going to be a wrestling clinic. That's one I'm hoping not too many people stand in front of me at my table in the back locker room as I'm agenting and producing. I may have to ban people from looking over my shoulders and giving me the ibby jibbies, because I know a lot of the boys and girls in the back locker room are going to be having their eyes on that ring for that match.
When I saw that match announced, my mouth dropped to the floor, and I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, this is going to be happening. And the part that got me was like, wait a second. This is like one of those dream matches that I didn't think existed in indie wrestling.
Yeah. That match is a main event match in any wrestling promotion. if you were to pull promoters and say, if you had that match on your card, how do you think it would be? And it's a no lose situation for the fans. The biggest ones, whoever's winning that match and the fans are the winners, because to be able to witness it, they're actually seeing something so special, because all three of those wrestlers are phenomenal workers, and whoever the referee is that night for that match has their work cut out for them, because it's going to be nonstop action. That's total nonstop action. That's TNA. So hopefully I don't get hit with a copyright infringement, but that's going to be a match that I know people are going to be watching, and that match alone is worth the price of coming to the show.
Yeah, that once I saw that one, I mean, I already got my ticket even before any of the matches were even announced.
Yeah, because we do that. We announce our matches, John. You know what I mean? We don't hide anything. Our matches at Immortal, we put them out there because we want the fans to know exactly what they're looking at. You know what I mean? We put it out there, to the world. If you want to see something that's going to be insane, attract every wrestling fan.
And even though I also treated myself, because normally I would get second row seats or normally general admission.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? It's a few days before my birthday. I figured let me treat myself to a birthday present.
Yep. That's not a happy ending. Yep. I got you.
And it's I think only the second time since I've been coming to Immortal that I actually got front row seats.
Yeah.
The first one was the first couple school show.
And you were probably lucky when you got that front row seat, because they went quick for this show.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, when I got it was before anything got in. When I think it was when the show had first gotten announced.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there and I'm like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when we saw the triple threat match, and then I want to get to the women's match.
Okay. All right. Yep. So, after a 3.5-year absence, the returning Christina Marie will be challenging for a title that she once held against the current ICW Women's Champion, Danny Moe. What can we say about both of those girls? Both of those girls have actually been out, all of the AEW appearances that Christina Marie has been on. Danny Moe has been seen on WWE television. Both of them are in their cars every weekend, traveling the highways and the byways, and getting so many wrestling reps in, which is what every wrestler should be doing, and entertaining crowds all over the Northeast, South. Danny Moe also, like I said, Danny Moe just got back not too long ago from a tour of India. As far as experience factor, both of those girls, if one doesn't clothesline the other one's head off, the other one is going to kick them so hard in the back of the head with her Danny Moe is martial arts guru. John, if you and I were standing side by side together opposite of Danny Moe, she would probably have us both on the ground within 3 kicks the commission. And I think she could do it relatively simple. Take both of us out of our misery. Christina Marie is an experienced power lifter. So when you talk about somebody, two female wrestlers that one has martial arts background, the other one weightlifting background, will Danny Moe's kicks on someone that is literally 4'8" iron steel brick wall, is Danny Moe's arsenal enough to break down Christina Marie? you know, both of those. The only way you can make that match better is if you put somebody like Serena Deeb in there with them. That would be all three women probably killing each other. And like we were talking about too, stacking the plate, going up. You know, Christina Marie is the longest reigning ICW Women's Champion in history. You know, Danny Moe, you know, she beat Delmy Exo from MLW, you know, for the belt this past summer in Cobleskill, New York. You know, it's been over 3 years since Danny Moe and Christina Marie have wrestled one another. You know, you know, kudos to the wrestling fans that are coming to Dwaynesburg because they're going to see two females beat the snot out of one another.
And I'll even say this much: when Christina Marie made her return in St. Johnsville,
Yep.
I didn't expect it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing is, because when somebody returns in indie wrestling, usually it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this person. Da, da, da. I think with this one, what was done so well about it,
yeah,
what nobody knew.
No. And you know what? That's also the part of doing business, you know, and talking with Mike Buccalo, and the booking committee. You know, a lot of over the years, you know, a lot of wrestlers, I know the differences between Christina Marie and Immortal Championship Wrestling. You know, one of the main problems that those two parties have is that they just didn't talk, and they didn't, compromise and come to an understanding about what each other was coming from and their feelings and everything. And that's just, you know, John, this happens in every day of life with people. Probably one of the best things for Christina to do was to leave and find herself and find a style that it works for her. You know, it's probably one of the best things that she could do, because back then when she was at Immortal before, she was only really working around the New York territory. And then, you know, once she was able to get out and spread her wings and see what the wrestling universe was all about, something that Danny Moe is very, very, very knowledgeable about, it helps people grow as wrestlers. And I know Christina has learned a lot in her time since she left. And what does she do when she's bringing that knowledge back to Immortal? So for any situation, it's win-win.
And once I heard that match got announced, I was like, yep, I know where I'm going to be. I mean, I was ready to be there anyway.
Right.
But I also was going to be there for this next match that I want to talk about.
Sure, go right ahead.
Main event, or I think it'll be the main event. Finally going to see, after months of going back and forth, and somehow even this podcast getting involved in it, because the challenger actually called out said champion on this podcast.
Yeah.
Bill Collier, Garrett Holiday.
Yeah. The match that both people have wanted for so long, the match that both wrestlers have been calling the other out for so long, and Bill Collier has taken the stance that he wants the title back that he never lost, and Garrett Holiday's stance is, well, I've been the champion for a while now. Where have you been? I'm waiting for you. So if there was ever a match that is highly anticipated, and this started at the end of 2023, if you remember, Bill Collier extended the olive branch to Garrett Holiday, helped save him at the end of one of his matches from a 2-on-1. But with the understanding that that was Bill's way of saying, Garrett, I'm back. You've got something that I want. The time is ticking. Garrett was all about it. And unfortunately, and someone like Bill Collier is in high demands all over the place. It's been extremely hard to land him on specific dates. And it's safe to say that the moon and the stars and everything are aligned for this week, because that match will be happening. We're really close to Kobaskill, right down the road from where you've been to past Immortal shows. Someone, and this may be a note from Mike Buccalo, may want to reserve a room for both Bill and Garrett Holiday at the Bassett Hospital in Kobaskill. We have ambulances that are going to be at Dwaynesburg, as it's we have to have it per our glorious New York State Athletic Commission bylaws. There's a very good possibility that both of those guys may be going to the hospital that night, because I don't think either one of them is going to want to give an inch to the other. And going to damn near beat the life out of one another.
Yeah, that's probably a nice way to put it.
And I say that in a way that is non-threatening, especially on school property, because last thing we have at any of these school shows is anybody that's committing crimes or anything out there and aren't supposed to be on in front of kids or anything. But the beating that Garrett Holiday and Bill Collier are probably going to put on one another, it's probably going to be a certain degree of manslaughter. Both of those guys are going to beat the other one up. It's going to be just, both of them are not going to be. I would not want to be either one of those guys rolling out of bed the next morning. I would not.
The one thing and I completely agree. The one thing I'm going to say about this whole card as a whole, looking at it from the pre-show matches to the entire card itself.
Yeah.
This whole card, I think the best way I can sum it up is this. It's okay. You're about to go out. Okay. So you're going to top me here, but then I'm going to top you here. And then we're going to top you. It's like how much can one match top another match? And then it's like when we sit here after the show, it's like, okay, well, what was the best match? It's like, I don't know if we can really even answer that with this one.
It's gonna be very hard for all of them to outdo the other. But before you give me the wrap up, there is one match that we're missing, John.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to let you.
Well, I'm hoping to get a lot of your knowledge on this, because you are a New Jerseyan, correct?
Well, I live on Long Island, but I've been to shows in New Jersey.
Okay. There is a NFW sponsored match on this card. Who do follow the downstate indie scene probably better than I do. What can you tell me as a producer and an agent about Brett Ryan Goslin?
I'll put it this way. You think Shane gets heat as soon as he walks out?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Brett. He comes out, if he uses the same song that I remember that he used a couple of times I've seen him, you're going to probably, knowing you and knowing a lot of people in Immortal, you guys are probably going to chuckle, because it's Sweet Victory by SpongeBob.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Does he live in a pineapple? Does he live in a pineapple under the sea?
You're funny. I don't know. I will admit, though, I don't know much about the other guy.
Yes. Young Jay Lee.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. But with Brett Ryan Goslin, he is definitely... He's in ring stuff. He's good, yeah. But he like you can easily like you can do a poll probably after the show and ask the fans, who do you think had more heat, or who do you think got booed louder, Brett Ryan Goslin or Shane Stetson?
Yeah,
I guarantee it'll probably be 50-50.
Really? I'm not quite sure that the Northeast champ's going to like hearing that too much.
What do you say?
He said this Brett Ryan Goslin is a lot like you, and as far as heat for the night and booze and who's entertaining, that you guys are really, would you say, cut from almost the same mold?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Hi, Shane.
What's up, you schmuck?
You can't tell me you didn't expect that.
Oh, I expected this point.
You know?
Listen, this weekend, John, I'm giving you shit.
Is that anything new than any other?
No, not really. But last time, John in the corner behind the music guy.
Were you hiding from Shane last show?
Yeah.
Well, no. Okay, I'll explain what happened with that. The music guy wanted my help with something and ended up not needing my help.
Okay. All right. So you just continue to stand behind him, John.
Yes.
That does.
Well,
There's
Shane,
something wrong with that.
Shane, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll be front row on Saturday.
All right, John.
That means you're fair game, John.
We all know you're sitting front row so you can get close to Dango and Breeze. We get it.
He's going to torture. He's going to torture you.
That's,
you know.
Won't be the first time I get tortured at a wrestling show. Won't be the last time.
Good point. Good point. But
maybe they'll give you a lap dance after the match or something. Little birthday surprise.
Oh boy. But
don't tell Ryan Peterson about that, because he may actually pitch in on that idea.
Oh,
but we are in the country area, so you know what? Normally out this way, you know, there's a high single rate, John.
Yeah. Big old country woman.
You know, maybe, just maybe, a good maybe the best thing for you right about now.
Yeah.
You know, they're used to working on the farms, baling hay. You know, you could have the best seat in the house right here, and they'll just plant themselves right down on it. That's what I'm going to do. John.
Yeah, John.
I'm going to be your wingman. I will be your goose. Will you be my maverick?
And also, I'm going to throw this in there as well. I'm also getting a haircut before Saturday.
On the top of your head or down below? Because you know what? Us at Immortal Championship Wrestling, we are firm believers of shaving before all the matches.
Maybe I'll come in with a bald head.
It's done wonders for my career. You know what I mean? You know, yeah, but you know, John, you know, also, you know, like we said, and thank you for allowing me to come on and talk about the show, a show that I'm really passionate about. You know, all joking aside, and you know, we'd like to have a good time. This show really means a lot to me. You know, my time left in New York is limited. We are going to be moving this summer down to the Sunshine State of Florida. And, you know, I love this town, very involved with the school system and the sports programs. You know, it's been a huge part of I graduated from school from Duanesburg. I grew up in this town, just a short 2 miles down the road. You know, my kids grew up here. You know, it is a great family town, and it's going to be a great family atmosphere on Saturday night. I think just alone today, and I'm not speaking unrealistic, just between Shane and we had requests for 30 tickets just today alone to sell. And, you know, we have our wrestling banquet on Thursday also. You know, the fans of Duanesburg and the fans of Immortal and a lot of the diehard Immortal faithfuls, you know, will be, you know, migrating out this way. They'll be good. You know, a lot of them that, you know, I'm friends with, and, you know, it's going to feel good to have people come to the hometown that you know, I live in, see the facility. Duanesburg has a beautiful school. You know, it is a family event, you know, and holding wrestling matches at schools, you know, our whole roster, you know, we don't use anybody with, you know, questionable backgrounds. You know, you can't have child endangerment charges, and because you are around minors, and the environment is going to be good. The environment is going to be clean. It's going to be, my goal is to have the 450 plus fans that are in that high school gymnasium leave Saturday night feeling like they were thoroughly entertained in a town that doesn't have a whole lot of excitement. You know what I mean? You have to drive 40 minutes to Albany to be normally entertained, or 30-minute drive to Schenectady to be thoroughly entertained. It's a lot of what we've done in Cobleskill. Solid entertainment value, family friendly event. All the wrestlers come out during intermission, make their way to meet the fan base, work the gimmick tables. Hopefully, John, in your case, going to be working a lap dance. Because I can't make that happen in this town. That's I have a few females in mind for you, but we'll talk about that off camera. It is one of those things where, we're doing huge things for this town that desperately needs it. For all the fans that watch this, stay tuned to Immortal Championship Wrestling, the website. We probably have one of our biggest, and I'm not letting the cat out of the bag, one of our biggest projects that we're working on right now for this summer. And I'm talking about another huge venue show with incredible talent that we're currently negotiating with to appear. Once everything is etched in stone with the venue, names will be announced, but it's going to change the way fans think about indie wrestling and who is going to be there.
Well, I can tell you right now, I will definitely be there no matter what.
Yeah, there's some humongous announcements. Probably the biggest show ever at Immortal Championship Wrestling looks like it's going to be happening this summer. And like I said, it is not the fair.
Wow. Okay. I was going to lay this offer out to the table now, since you brought that up. When everything is etched in stone and you have everything is set and ready to go, if you'd like to make the announcement on here, you're more than welcome.
Sure. I mean, you're probably gonna be one of many social media sites that get it. But once it's set and everything, and even if it's not tape night, because I can't guarantee it's definitely make an appearance and get word to you. And if you could put me on and be able to make the announcement and everything, be more than happy to. We're talking about major people that you're seeing on TV with AEW and other indies and other countries on a regular basis. Wow. So had a very successful 2023, and I don't see it slowing down in 2024 at all.
No, believe me. And you know this for a fact, and Mike King knows this as well. When it comes to anything Immortal, damn well we will be talking about it right here on the Around the Ropes podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So, John, I thank you for having me on. Looking forward to seeing you this Saturday. Because you're definitely going to want protection, especially a couple of the dive bars that are in this town after the show. You're not going to want any DNA transmitted. So I would definitely bring your protection, and maybe rub one out before you come out to last a little bit longer.
Well, Chip, it was a blast having you on, and yes, I am looking forward to seeing you guys on Saturday. And you could, last thing I was going to say is, tell Shane I will see him on Saturday, and he can, whatever he wants to say to me, I'm fair game. Everything's on the table.
Will do. Actually, I got a question for you. Do you have any openings next week? Because next week he will be appearing at One Up Wrestling, taking on Ichiban in Syracuse, Liverpool, Syracuse area. If you're interested and you have an opening and you need somebody to dial on and you don't have anybody from One Up, I could probably sweet talk him into getting on with you.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk offline, but yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, Chip, I will definitely look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thank you, my friend.
Alrighty, guys, that was Chip Stetson, and we're just going to wrap everything up now. God, this has been a fun show. This has been a long show. I appreciate everybody who watched tonight. I want to thank Mike Morgan. I want to thank Cheyenne Ortiz. Mike, you're funny. Mike, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. Guys, for everybody who watched tonight's show, I appreciate the watch. I appreciate the support. It means a lot. Hit the subscribe button on our YouTube page. Follow us on Facebook. And yeah, I think it's best to say we wrap up with that. See you guys all in Dwaynesburg. And we'll be back live here next Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on the new ATR network.